dupreeh is a great player, but flameZ is a lot younger and has time to grow. I don't think we saw the peak of flameZ yet, but we definitely saw the peak of dupreeh. We're never going to have the dupreeh of like 3 or 4 years ago.
Finally, I found what I was looking for. Now that my search is over, it's gonna be a tough choice. But fortunately, no need to choose. When you can just have them all. Buy and sell skins on BitSkins.com.
Best esports odds. VIP program and a variety of bonuses. Fast and easy withdrawals. Bet on every possible CSGO match and tournament, as well as any other esports game. Only on 22Bet.
Here's a good vibe, train, 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 train. Here's a good vibe, train, 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 train. Here's a good vibe, train, 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 train. Good vibe, train, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Counter-Strike fans around the globe, welcome to a very angry episode of HLTV Confirmed. This evening, we are joined by Prof, Striker, and Ime. You can see him right there. He's going to tell us how to say the name correctly in some point soon, but quickly, I have to thank the sponsors, of course. We got BitSkins. Get your skins. You want a Dragon Lore, that's the place to go. SteelSeries. They do mouse pads, keyboards, mice, headsets, all that good stuff. They've been in the game forever, and so should you. And last but not least, 22Bet. Gamble responsibly. All right, on tonight's show, we're going to be talking to Ime about, well, as I mentioned, how to say his name correctly. But I need to see the bit first. First and foremost, losing to these absolute noobs who can't play actual maps of Counter-Strike. They play Dust 2 and Train are the maps they win. How do you feel about this, mate? What are your initial reactions? You're in much better spirits than I.
I'm feeling thank you. All I know is that I got on third map, like I said in the game. I think I died 7 times in a row by Oscar with an op. I cannot do anything. I just got owned.
I feel like we should never have been there in the first place. Shouldn't have even been allowed. Yeah, what kind of fucking bullshit rules is this? It's not Valve sanctioned.
Yeah, I mean, we play. I mean,
what about the last minute substitution situation? This is fucking bullshit.
The only reason that we lost on the 2 maps that they are not in the map pool.
That's
true.
The
only reason.
That's true.
Dust 2 and Train.
Yeah.
We won Nation,
Yeah. People quoting my stats. All right. I'm throwing mid-window smoke. I'm throwing donut. I'm flashing for Ime to go out mid on Ancient. You know what? I'm playing actual team-based fucking Counter-Strike, you muppets. I'm not running around with an all-plat pimp baiting us every fucking round, all right? So don't get up here with calling out the stats. These noobs on the other team, Team Olaf, they can't win actual fucking maps of Counter-Strike. They can only play bad maps that are removed from the pool. Now that that's out of the way, right? Now that I've fucking called them all out, I've put them all on blast. We can get into the show. How do we say your name correctly?
Ime.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Why?
Because the way that you leave the E. Prof, can you try?
Can I hear it again? Yeah, I just lagged out for a second. Ime.
Ime, yes, exactly.
Ime.
Yeah.
Ime.
It's easy as that.
Simple enough.
Okay.
I mean, you can either say IEM or Ime, but...
how am I going? Am I close?
Say it again.
Ime.
It's good.
See? I knew it was good. They've been questioning it the whole time.
But some of the caster at the major call me like Imach.
Ah, okay. Yeah, we've been there before.
It's a huge difference between Imach and Ime.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I remember that I was in an elevator with Scrowny, if I remember correctly. And he asked me, okay, I'm gonna cast I think the semi-final or the final, I can't remember. And then how can I call you? Like I said Ime. And then I'm watching the POV and then he said Imach.
Okay, so that's good. It wasn't me. I feel good. I feel good. I've had my.
It doesn't.
Well. Okay.
That's all right. We've got to the bottom of this. Now, Striker, we haven't acknowledged you just yet. Have you stolen any office supplies here this evening?
No.
No? Well, not that you would admit to.
No.
What is the law like in your country for stealing office supplies?
Probably the same as everywhere else. It's frowned upon.
Bit of a slap on the wrist, do you think?
Yeah,
wasn't there a situation? I remember this being news in Croatia, like someone in Scandinavia, maybe Sweden, like took some office supplies, like some paper, and then got caught, and then he like quit his job because he brought disgrace. And Croatia, this was like, Lamal, only paper. Lamal, I took my whole PC from the job and stuff like that. It was pretty funny.
Okay. All right. Well, we got a bit of an action-packed show this evening. Hopefully we get some excitement, like people having to leave their jobs, or, maybe we get stuck into, I don't know.
People are surely leave their jobs in the near future.
Well, we know why we brought, and this is going to get us taken down off of YouTube, Twitch, everything. We know why we brought him on here this evening. Obviously, he's Romanian. We all read in the news this morning. It was breaking. Andrew Tate has formally been charged. He's been accused now. And as a Romanian, you live in the same country as Andrew Tate. That's why we've brought you onto the show here. Expert, live on the ground. We know that you were at the police station this morning. Anything that you can report for us here today?
Yeah, I have no clue about that.
Okay.
I've literally not heard that either. Like, I could not give less of a fuck.
I get all of this information out of one place and one place only. That's the HLTV forums. Okay. HLTV forums. And I heard there was some stuff going on today. Something about Carlos as well. So
okay, now it's all kicking off.
It's all good news. All good news.
It's just all kicking off. All right, Lucas, roll the bumper. Let's get into the hot seat. All right. We're going to get in and make things nice and warm and cozy here this evening for everybody. Thank you for tuning in. It is going to be a Tuesday evening, and we're getting into June. It's warm. Look out Prof's window. That's how it looks. Summer in Europe. The sun sets late. It's quite warm. It's in the the 28s for some places. And Prof, he's been cooking today. He's been in the kitchen. He's been feeling a little bit hot because he has given us quite a laundry list of things to go over with our lovely guest tonight. Prof, I feel that you've started in the beginning. Is there anything you'd like to say about that? We're losing.
There you go. Something happened, but I'm back, I think.
Oh, did you hear what I was saying?
You're talking about laundry, and it's going on right now.
No, I was just saying that you've been cooking.
Oh yeah, for the show, for EMA and all of that. Do you want me to kick it off?
Yeah, why not? Because you've got your list here. I don't know where you wanted to kick things off, so I figure I'll leave it to you.
I was looking through HLTV. I'm like, let's see if we have any interviews with this guy. We have 0 interviews. I think we did maybe like a quick comment during the major or something. So it's kind of unknown. No one knows anything about you. We don't know. We don't know how you started playing CS. Like, was it the brother? Was it grandpa or a weird uncle that introduced you to CS? Like, let's just start there. How did you get into CS even?
I mean, I can't even remember. Probably I think it started at school, most likely. Like, I think some of my schoolmates was playing, and then they showed me the game, and then I was playing it. It's just some basic stuff, nothing like, I don't know. Did I say my biggest brother was pro in 1.6 and stuff like this? No, it's just, I don't know, just a normal hobby.
I think it's a different generation now as well, though, right? Because I would say 10 years ago or so, it would have been a lot more of the brother story in the computer. But now I imagine, like in households, it's a lot more, or with LAN cafes, like it's a lot easier for people to get their hands on PCs and stuff, right? And
I mean, LAN cafes that don't even exist most of the time now anymore. Like, what's the fucking point? Everybody has a PC at home.
I miss the LAN cafe days. Okay, so you've just got into. Were you gaming before? Like, were you playing other video games? Was there any other, like Call of Duty, Fortnite, was there anything like that? You're only 23, so I don't even know what the ballpark of games is.
I'm pretty sure it was on like single player stuff, and yeah, I mean, it was like whatever kids were playing on that day.
Okay, and
I can't even remember. Yeah.
So
nothing that caught your eye until Counter-Strike is what you're saying.
Yep.
So you get the Counter-Strike bug pretty quickly. So what does it just turn into an obsession straight away? Like, how do you chase it? Because this is the thing. When Counter-Strike started, when I started playing it, you had to kind of make friends and play with people online. I guess what are we talking? Was matchmaking and stuff around? I'm trying to pinpoint where we are in the timeline.
I mean, to be honest, my first rank in matchmaking, it was Silver 2 or Silver Tail, something like this. Like,
okay,
you can say that I I took every stage of the game, like from silver to global. Then on face, I'm pretty sure my first level it was 2, even 1 maybe, and then I grind up to level 10 and so on. Like I don't know, it was full grinding. I liked the game, and then I was keep playing it. I was having fun with my friends, and then yeah,
Started
and
taking things a bit more seriously.
Yeah, and then it took more seriously because I had a stage that I was toxic. I'm not gonna lie. I had that period as well. Like I said, I have all the periods in the world. Like you name one, and then I'll say, oh yeah, I was like that at one point, and then I think it was some league on Face It with only Romanians at that time, and then Nexus, my first big team, let's say like this, which is the best team in Romania, and then they saw me, and then they bring me there to trial, and then I've tried to, and then yeah. Also, a quick fact: I got kicked by Nexus 2 times.
Shit. Okay.
Well,
Why? Because of
bring you
these
back?
phases?
Okay,
Because of
the
these
first time-
phases?
No. The first time I got kicked because I was bad. I was literally very, very bad. Individually, I don't know, in terms of decision making and all of this stuff. But the second time I didn't deserve it. I know for sure.
Okay.
So why
Second time you
so
clean.
why-
First time you weren't.
Yeah.
But why
yeah,
were you
yeah.
kicked the second time then?
Because they needed to change one player, and they wanted to add the SXE, if I'm not wrong. I don't know if you know him. And then SXE said, "Okay, I'm coming only with Cosman." And then yeah,
Oh, the classic
who-
combo
who-
deal, man.
who can you kick? Okay, of course, the fourth guy.
Yep. The classic. We've all been
Yeah.
there. We've all
Yeah.
been outside of the click before.
Call them out right now. But you made it back. This was like 2018ish. That was kind of the time when you played with Nexus a bunch and
Yep.
playing in all of these like regional leagues and stuff like that. I think like even some of the tournaments that I coached back in the day with Locastic was like the same thing, like Southeast Europe Championship and like
Yeah, exactly.
stuff like that. That was how did you actually go into competing as a team? What was that transition like, even going from like a pugger to competing? What was the biggest kind of stepping stones that you need to take?
So long time ago, and I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I can remember. All I remember that, yeah, like I was a big pugger. Like even though I was okay, no, let's put it like this. On the first kick on Nexus, I got kicked because yeah, I was bad individually and all of the stuff. But if you put me in face, let's say, I will drop like 30 bomb and something like this. But I don't know. I couldn't have a balance between pack style and team. How do you say it?
Just team play, yeah.
Just team play, yeah, exactly. And then yeah, I got kicked.
Okay,
But
so
then
you-
I learned more and more. I tried to watch demos, and then yeah.
do you think that was the biggest barrier for entry for you then, is like getting into the team play? Was that the biggest thing holding you back?
Wait, as an entry or what do you say?
No, just in general, like as a player, because I'm thinking you're coming up the ranks, you play all the faces, you're those things, you're playing in Nexus, but you've come through a system that doesn't promote Team Counter-Strike in the same way, right? Because you're ranking up, you're getting through levels, you're earning points. Like so my question here is, do you think that's the bit that you were lacking the most, like of the team play and that side of the game? Like, was there no strong people in Romania to kind of teach that from an in-game leader perspective, or just something that you needed to spend more time like studying and focusing on?
I mean, you're true. Yeah, we can say that we don't have IGLs in Romania. We have only BTN, and he's still in Nexus. And then whenever you don't play Nexus and then you go for other team that is like, I don't know. Back in the days, I was playing for Sinners. It was called in Romania like this, not the Czech guys. And yeah, we didn't have a proper IGL. It was basically 5 guys having 5 ideas, and it was a mess most of the times. But yeah, not having a proper IGL might be rough. And then we didn't have coaches as well. Like no one learned us how to play the game basically. And then it was very, very hard for us to go for, like, let's say we qualified for some events, and then we meet some of the, I don't know, let's say top 60, top 70 teams at that time on HLTV, and then we're just getting crashed.
You guys could have an okay like Romanian team now, couldn't you? You and Lonks, and I don't know what happened with Zella. It didn't really work out at Sprout for that poor guy, did it? That,
I mean, we qualified for IESF.
That's right. Yes, Prof's
It's-
favorite tournament.
It's it's me, Long, Cello, Blitz, and Sound.
Okay, so you're gonna go give
And
it a
I'm
crack.
the IGL this time.
All right.
Nexus
How
for
things
a
have turned.
point. Nexus for a time was pretty legit, like on the tier 2 scene. Like you guys had some like strings of pretty good results, like on the international scene, right?
Yeah, we had some good time in there, and then also, but that's the thing with Nexus. Like sometimes, I mean, I made that mistake as well. Like we're kicking people like too often. We didn't have the trust to keep a roster for, let's say, 1 year. You're changing players over and over and over for no reason, and then that's like we didn't have a coach to tell us like, no, don't do that. That might be wrong, and then we had to learn the fifth guy all the time, over and over again, some stuff that we have and all of this stuff, and it was very hard for us.
Okay. All right. Well, as we move along here, where Prof, you've got next in your little run of show here. You've got going international in 2021.
Do you want me to ask the question, or is this the question?
Well, no, I want you to ask the question.
Yeah, I'm just, I wasn't sure if you're, because obviously Ema thought that this was the question for him. So I was a bit confused.
My apologies. But I did say Prof.
Okay.
Yes,
My bad,
yes.
you know,
I mean, the question is,
we can do hand signals.
How does the transition happen? Like, did you get offers for international stuff before that, or was that the first one to go international? And then why did you take it essentially?
I think the first offer for an international team I got from I always forget his name. He went to Valorant right now. He was a coach, a German coach.
German coach who went to Valorant.
I mean, got B.
Legia.
Yeah.
Legia.
Okay.
Legia.
Okay.
Legia. And he wanted to make a team with me, MSL, and something like this, but I don't know, something went wrong, and then I moved on. I got the offer from GamerLegion in the first place, and then we were doing good at that time with Nexus. We were top 40 as well. I refused them, and after 6 months, they came back to me, and then I accepted because we struggled after I refused them in the first place.
So you find yourself at GamerLegion. You find yourself now having to play international Counter-Strike. English seems fine. Did you have any issues with that? Was because you were Pugger? Seems like it should have been pretty straightforward.
No, even Ash said that. I mean, he got surprised by me that I can call, I can come with ideas, because he didn't have any info about me. He was trying to watch some FPL games, but he didn't know like I'm streaming on YouTube. And a lot of people still don't know that I'm streaming on YouTube, because in Romania we don't stream on Twitch, we stream on YouTube. It's a thing.
Okay, so the Romanian crowd is into just watching streams on the YouTubes.
Exactly.
All right, so you got to know where to look. And so the first time you denied them, what was the roster? Do you remember?
It was me, Cello, BTN, Raga, and S6E, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure, but I think S6E was the fifth guy.
Okay, but for GamerLegion, you said you denied them, right?
Oh, for GamerLegion, I think it was Rusty. It was Rusty. I think it was Rusty. Isak still? No, not Isak.
Isak came after you, right?
Yeah. So Rusty for sure.
When you joined, it was Zero, Era, IEM, Isak. That was the lineup. I don't know if like 6 months before they had any changes.
I think they had a double instead of me at that time, but I can't remember what was the lineup. I'm pretty sure Zero was there, Era was there, Rusty was there. Maybe Adam, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, he was benched just as we
British.
came in, so I guess so.
Adam and one more guy, I can't remember, to be honest.
There's a database people can look this up on if they're interested. I think it's called HLTV.org. It's got all these different statistics. It's got this thing on the player's page. It even says how long they're in teams for. It's fucking crazy, Prof. You seen this thing? It's all the rage, man. I don't know if you've seen it.
I never found it. I don't know how to find it.
Striker, you're normally on top. You found it. You seen this thing before? I bet you can't fucking believe it, mate. You're a guy who loves this type of stuff.
I mean, me as a player, whenever I start Chrome, first thing I press HLTV.
Oh shit. See, look at
And
that.
they're going
You
to
don't-
forums then?
I always like to hear that, to be honest.
don't
I know
just
a
make
lot
it
of
your
people at the
homepage?
CS team will do that, but
I don't have it as a homepage, but I first thing I do, I press HLTV.
who
And
has
then the other stuff.
homepages, man? Like, this is 2023.
true.
Nobody sets homepages anymore.
That is true. That's fair
Do
enough.
you go on the forums, Ime?
Not that much. I like to watch them. I'm not gonna lie, but not that much.
Do you
So
have
you
to be
read-
careful about that? Like, are you a guy who will just like be like, okay,
No.
I'd rather not read about myself?
No. Well,
You don't care?
back in when I was in Nexus, we got at least a lot of hate. I got a lot of hate. Maybe whenever we lose in the first team with GamerLegion, I got a lot of hate as well. But I like to get the messages. I just
Oh shit.
like
the
let's
first
say
time I'm hearing that.
yeah, let's say if some guy on Twitter comes to me and say like he's like swearing me and all of this stuff, I'm saying how much and stuff like this. Like
You're taunting him.
yes, of course.
Yeah,
like
okay.
why not?
Yeah, it's fun to play that way. That's like me on social media right now, tweeting absolute bots who can't play actual maps on the map. But I'm taunting them. I wanna. I fucking feed me. It's good. That's good. You're not too sensitive to that stuff because it can be too much. Like the
Yeah.
people can get out of fucking control. It's pretty wild in that regard. Okay, so you join. You're an international team. Are you thinking? Well, I don't know, because this is the thing. You're only 23 years of age and you've already been in a major grand final. It's almost happened very quickly. Like,
Yeah.
is it a bit of a blur the last couple of years coming out of the pandemic, everything like that? I can't imagine just how quick it's all happened.
I mean, I don't know, maybe because of the pandemic, what you said, like it was. I mean, in the pandemic situation, it was very weird for us because we had the first team with Rusty, Era, and Zero, Isaac, and me, and we never played LAN. And then our first actually LAN, it was the RMR at Bucharest for qualifying to
shit.
the major, and then we were playing for 1 year, I think, together, and we didn't have any. No, I'm lying. I think we had some boot camps, but not that many. And then our first LAN, it was the RMR.
That's great.
Just-
So what's your LAN experience before that point?
Some tournaments in Nexus, like
Just local ones.
no. We went some international as well, like in Bulgaria, in Serbia, in I think in Greece as well. We went at one time.
Okay.
We had a bit of experience, but not that like not big events because Armar, it was a big event and it was the first big event for maybe all of us. But Rassi, I think, because Rassi played some DreamHacks and stuff. And no, and Zero played majors, yeah.
So just no problem at a first big event, just no dramas. Okay. Strike, you got anything here for our boy?
No, I mean, I just kind of wanted to ask about the transition from like the Swedish roster, because obviously that was a big thing for GamerLegion for a long time, even before you came in, and you were still part of that for like a year, as you said just now. After that, it only shifted like once, basically, like it was like late last year, right? That it transitioned into this acoR, siuhy, and that was the previous change that I'm blanking on right now. But obviously, like that's a big shift, you know. That's like suddenly you have an entirely different core, you have to start over. I'm curious about how that happened, how that affected you in the game, you know.
I mean, it affected me a lot because Rusty, he wasn't like a proper IGL. He was like a guy who IGLs because no one wants to IGL.
The classic.
Like,
the absolute classic.
Exactly. And then Kamil comes, siuhy, and then he's like a proper IGL. And then he wants to start with basics, with all of this stuff, and then so on, you know, all like start with basic, then strats, then you do your plays, and then we try to put them together and then work with them, and you play more passive. You cannot say like, I want to do that, and then if it was us, if you're saying okay, do it, and then but if it's Kamil, he's saying no, we do that, and then it changed a lot for me.
Culture shock. Any game leader can say no.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying no to me. Like most of the times, I was like, okay, I want to do this. No, it's not. It wasn't like I want to do this. It was like, they are doing that. Let's do this. And then he was saying no, basically no. And then he was calling his strat. And then, I mean, at one point I got mad on because like you cannot get mad on if you get so many no's. But we discussed it, and then it worked out well for us, as you can see.
Yeah. Okay. Should we get more into the modern team as we know it now, Prof?
Yeah, I think so.
of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Prof, would you like to kick us off?
Yeah, actually, I had this short conversation with how do we pronounce his nickname?
Who?
You call him
Camille.
Camille. We call him
Huey,
Camille.
man.
Camille. Or Maui calls him siuhy. So I don't know.
No, that's my first time when I hear it.
I watched one of the vlogs from the RMR, and there was this comm that he made. It's like he said something. They're breathing, and I'm like, what the fuck does this mean? And then I DM'd him, and I'm like, what does this mean? What does this call out mean? And then he explained to me is like, essentially that they introduced the freeze term essentially for freezing. You know, when you have map control, it's like a 3v3 or a 4v3 in your advantage, and you don't want to overplay your hand. That instead of using freeze, he said let's use breathe, because freeze is kind of a negative term to use. It's like, you know, you kind of, you know, you freeze, you don't know what to do, and when you're breathing, you're just like, you know, relaxed. You can go a bit back and forth, which you should be doing. You shouldn't be just like stuck in one angle, just like fucking panic holding an angle. And I'm like, damn, this is fucking cool.
Yeah,
and,
we had a lot of terms, new terms as well with Camille coming. That was.
Can you give me some other examples, like in terms of building the team, that he, like details like this that he brought into the team?
I mean, obviously,
give us all his secrets. We want the dossier, the documents. We want everything you received.
I mean, I cannot give you much because I cannot remember, obviously. But I have a thing. If you ask me something, I would be like, okay, I don't know. But yeah. So basically, he comes like with a lot of structure, basically, because he was playing in Mouse NXT. He was like their daddy on that team. Basically, he was like, okay, you do that, you do that, you do that, you do that, and then we also had a talk like we are like how do you say it? We are at one not on the next level. How do you say it? Like
next level, where are we going with this?
Not like next level. Like on Mouse NXT, he needed to micromanaging all of them, let's say, and then on GamerLegion, it's not like that because we know what to do. We played, we have experience, we have this type of stuff, and then we know what to do in some situation, and we can also think like we can do ourselves. You don't need to think for all of us. And then and then it was a bit hard for him as well to transition from that because he was used to it like every time, and then but I don't know, in time, like I said, it worked really well for us. But you can say that after we made the team, we pretty qualified for the major because we played the 4th qualifier, I think. On the last qualifier, we qualified for the Rio major, and it was pretty quick. It was something on the fly, basically, because we didn't have any practice at all. But still, we needed a lot of time to put his structure in our team, and then for us to adapt to it.
Yeah, I remember when I was talking to Ash at some point, he was saying, like once the team was made, or there was like an announcement from the organization that like siuhy was going to have a lot of input on like what the team was going to be. I imagine you also must have been like part of those conversations because you were you were there for such a long time, right? Unless you were also considered to go, you know. I don't know about the backstory, you know. But what were those conversations like? You know, how did you end up on this specific roster anyway?
It was a weird and long conversation between Ash and players because, like I said, we didn't play the first qualifier for the Rio major.
Yeah,
we missed the 2nd qualifier.
There was like Roland playing, no, at one of them. Am I crazy?
The 3rd qualifier we played with Roland. We almost qualified. I think we lost against Force, if I'm not wrong. And on the 4th qualifier, we played with Nico Keoz. And then we qualified. It was, I don't know, something amazing. We are like, okay, let's start with this guy, and then we qualified with them. We signed him as well, and then it was on the fly, basically on the fly.
Okay, so it's all coming together. Like that's the thing, because it looked like for a lot of teams in these qualifiers online, people are just throwing players together. You see that a lot, right? So essentially, you guys were doing the same thing, just going through a bunch of different names until something stuck. I don't know. Is it good synergy within the team, or is it good relationships, or it's just good play? Because obviously, we're fast forwarding a bit here, but the most recent success for the team is based off you just going absolutely fucking bananas, mate. Like that's the difference for GamerLegion in recent history. But when we go back and we look at some, it was more team-based Counter-Strike, right? Like you've only really stepped into this spotlight off of the Paris major.
Yeah,
Does
I mean,
it feel that way?
I mean, like you said about the synergy, but that's why we missed the first qualifier. That's why we missed the second qualifier for the Rio. Because I mean, I was a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie, trash. I was like, what are we doing? Let's put a team and let's play it. It's like when this stuff. But he was trying to bring in the perfect five at that point, and then it took more time than we had, basically, because we missed some qualifiers, and then we were happy that we qualified. And then I think he did a really good job on that, because obviously he bring like it was me and Isak. He bring the Camille from Mouse NXT, acoR, and then Nico as a fifth guy. You know, then the last qualifier, it was like 5 guys out of nowhere, just qualified instantly without any practice, basically.
But how
Must
do
be
you?
nice.
But you also did well at Rio, right? Because you were like 2-0, and then there was like the whole story about going 2-0 to 2-3, and then back. You know, what was the transition from Rio, between Rio and Paris? How did the team change from that point? You know, like it seemed like it was very much down to kind of inexperience and maybe nerves at in Rio. You know, the fact that you couldn't convert that 2-0. So how do you go from that to reaching the level that you were at, you know, during Paris?
And you can say that we had a lot of time to practice.
I mean, of course,
like also, if you say, we got a lot of practice. We got a lot of experience because we played some tournaments as well. We played some finals as well, and that we lost them all, of course. And I lost another final today, because why not?
Add it to the list, mate.
So it's your fault. It's not our jigs.
Yep. And then you can say the experience, basically. And then if you say what's our experience against the crowd, as you can say that we didn't have any experience, but we had experience in Rio against FURIA. There are like thousands of people swearing us, showing us some weird stuff, and then we could see it, like, and it was like very, very hard to play even.
I think that's probably a good question here, because someone who's experiencing that, did you notice, did you feel pressure when you played in those type of environments? Because it's something that we talk about, right? That the people are going to feel and going to experience. But did you experience it as a player?
You mean with the crowd?
Yeah, well, in general, just but the stage stuff. You know, when it is a different environment. I
mean, on the stage, I think I was nervous. Like, let's say first 3, 4, 5 rounds, maybe 6 rounds, but then it just fly out of window. Like
once you get into it, you get
exactly
in the groove.
like it was like I knew that they cannot affect me, like, basically, and then I just played.
Just fucking owned everybody. Yeah, simple as that. Must be fucking nice. All right, let's look at some of the pieces of this team, right? Because we know acoR. We all remember acoR. He was in Mouse, then he wasn't in Mouse, and then he wasn't doing so well. He actually wasn't doing so good in Mouse either. But we on your team, he seems to have a bit more of a resurgence. Do you think that comes down to maybe the way that siuhy leads the team for acoR to have his resurgence? Was there anything that you noticed with him, or was he always just good when you had the opportunity to play with acoR?
I mean, whenever we are playing pracs, he's lining up 2, 3 people every time, wallbanging people out of nowhere. We're like, how do you do that? And then he's doing this type of shit in officials, and we was like, wait, how do you do that? But no, he's like he's doing his own stuff as well. He's doing a lot for the team. He's playing the supportive roles as well as an AWP, but he can be aggressive as well. Whenever he calls it, like, he can do both things. He's like, he's very good individually as well, and then he knows how he can help me, let's say, whenever we are on the same side, let's say on overpass, because we are playing on A side, and then it feels nice to have this type of a player in your team.
And then we spoke a bit about Keoz before. I remember him in Simon Gaming. The kid speaks Russian as well, so he's a bit of. I think with your team, it's a very interesting team to look at, because you've got these more supportive riflers in Isak and Keoz, and then you've got obviously acoR and AWP that we've seen before. We've got an in-game leader that played for an academy roster, who's apparently meant to be the next big thing, like the next coming of, I don't know, let me throw a big in-game leader name out there just for the fun. Carrigan, right? Let's go with that, shall we? And then yourself, and you find all this success, and it's a team that just got thrown together. Like you hear that story and you go, well, what the fuck's going on? And you got a British coach. Tell us a bit about the coach. I'm interested. Tell us a bit about Ash.
I mean, what can I say from him? He's, I don't know, the best coach I ever had. I didn't have many coaches. I mean, I didn't have any coaches. but I
Not
mean,
a big compliment, is it?
no, but still, the way he's trying to cheer us up whenever we are down, the way he's like doing the work behind the scene as well, it's like it's amazing. Like I have, like I said, I didn't have any coaches. I have no idea if any coaches are the same, if they are not the same, but still, I'm like full humble. Like it's unbelievable what he can do.
So you're happy with him regardless.
Of course,
it doesn't,
of course.
You don't know. You've got nothing to compare it to, but the job he does is a good job.
Yes.
And that's the best thing you can ask for. All right. What else are I guess I'm interested in players like Isak and Keoz in the team, though, right? Because these are the guys who definitely aren't in the spotlight so much compared to like a you or an acoR or a siuhy, for example, right? So can you give us a bit of a, I guess, rundown of them as people or players?
I mean, Keoz is he likes to play aggressive like me. Like he likes to go for it. He doesn't care if he dies. Like sometimes, I don't know if you paid attention to our games, we were eco, he saved the gun and he drops me the gun. It happens in heroic game. He saved the gun, he dropped me the gun, he boosted me under, I killed the guy, we won the round. Like, I mean, who does that? Like, I was like, no, keep it, play with it. And no, he's like, oh, you're on the stage. He was like, no, you play, you kill them. And I say, okay. What can I say?
The second coming of Sanji, mate.
Yeah, like, I don't know, he's like...
Just better.
Yeah, he just wants to win. It's like this, and then he doesn't care if he's 230 or if he's 30-10, and like you can see on his face that he wants to win very much, and that goes the same for Isak. Like I think he has the worst roles in our team. Like he's playing the all shit positions on city side.
Give me an example of what those shit positions are, would you?
B Mirage.
Okay.
Then a B overpass, ancient, a anchor. What more?
You've already named enough for people to be scared of.
Inferno B side, and then yeah. Oh no, Inferno he's playing pit, but whatever. Like he's playing all the hard roles that he's waiting, and then whenever the enemy comes, it's like they're coming with 5 flashes, and then what can you do? You can get one, and then you die, and then yeah. But also, he doesn't care about this stuff. He's like, okay, let's play. And then you see him clutching, going crazy.
All right.
And he's also such a troll. You cannot hate Isak, to be honest. If you meet him in real life, you cannot hate him. You just watch him and you laugh, basically.
I was going to ask about the atmosphere. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Every time when you're at bootcamp and you are eating, we are watching Isak and we are stuck in laughing. And he was like,
what, had him eating?
Laughing? Yeah, I am eating. Why are you laughing? And we are laughing because I don't know.
Okay, well he's a clown, but he doesn't know it. So there could be a slight bit of bullying going in there. You know, I don't want to. You know, but that's for you guys to determine.
No,
safe group.
Even though you bully Isak, he's the same like me. He's even, I think, I don't know if. I mean, but it's okay if I say it. Like I think one time, a guy on Instagram, if I'm not wrong, he messaged him that we lost the game, and then he was mad. He was throwing him, and then Isak he followed him back, and he was calling him, and that guy didn't answer. Like
the ultimate call out.
Yes, exactly.
That's really good.
Like,
called his fucking bluff.
Yeah.
What did you want to ask before, Striker?
No, just about the energy in the team, because obviously, like everybody was talking about Keoz screaming and all that stuff, like when it was Paris, right? But also, like siuhy, it seems also a guy who's like bringing the mood up.
He gets loud.
Yeah, what's the atmosphere like in the team? Who's like the ones who are like bringing the team up and all that stuff, especially when they're down, you know?
And who is bringing the team down?
Oh shit! Who's the tilter?
I think no one is bringing the team down that I can say. Like no one is like full tilting,
Like
not
tilted.
speaking whenever he's like not having a good game. I mean, every guy, every human has like his works days, and then okay, you can understand, but like yeah, you can leave him alone, not pissing me off. But I don't know, the chain guys, we probably Isak, Keoz, and siuhy, and the chill guys, it's me and acoR. Like whenever I'm clutching or whenever someone is clutching, I mean, whenever someone is clutching, I'm like I'm screaming. But whenever I'm clutching, I cannot scream. I'm just like, nope. And like I cannot do it. I like to be calm.
How do you deal with like the adrenaline of like winning a big round on a stage or stuff like that? Because like I win a 1v4 in matchmaking and I get hyped up, and I know that like for most players like I'm just chill, but there must be some sort of a reaction that your body does. And like how do you deal with those big moments in a big game?
I think most of the times this happen online usually, or at boot camps. Like Ash says, you need pause, like, and then if you are hyped and then your heart is like bumping very 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 hard, and then you can say, yeah, let's take a tactical or something like this. But I don't know. For me, it's just I don't know. I can win 1v5 and I'm just okay. Very nice, good job.
Just build different, I guess.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, here comes the fun part. This is the fun part. We're going to turn off all the cameras. We close all. It's just the four of us and Lucas. I guess it's just the five of us. And now you can tell us all the secrets to how you go and be in the running for the MVP of a fucking major. You know, you guys have an insane run and you're playing god tier levels of Counter-Strike. And then I'm sure you got more than, I don't know, 15 offers under the sun in the last couple of weeks here. People knocking on the door wanting to MS. So what do we do to get better than a 0.72 stat line against Olof in the Go League?
I mean, first of all, you should play as a team. Yeah, I mean, I'm not that guy who I like to watch stats. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
I'm
fun. We all like numbers.
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm going on HLTV and I'm watching stats all the time. But I'm not gonna be that guy who's gonna chase for stats. Like I know for sure that there are people maybe in top 15 that are, or top 20 or top 30 that are just chasing ecos, chasing all of this stuff. I mean, I do it as well, but I'm not saying like just let's build like rating all of this stuff. I don't care about this. And then I don't know. I just go with the flow, I guess. And then it worked very very well for me at this major.
Bro, sometimes it felt like you were in the Matrix, man. Like it was like you were. I just remember these rounds against Ruix, especially like you were entering connector and like you were spinning around and just like getting 2 kills, like where nobody's supposed to get 2 kills there. Like it's just impossible. Like if the other guy doesn't fuck up, basically. Well, clearly it wasn't. That's the thing. Clearly,
face it every time.
But that's my point exactly. Like that's not supposed to happen, is what I'm trying to say. You know, like you're supposed to get traded in that position, but you just spin and like get 2 kills. You know. I don't even know what the question is exactly like in this, but it just seems like you have this knack for like multi kills, especially at the major. Just like happened so many times where I saw like there's no way this guy will get another kill, and then you do, and I don't know how. You know, I don't know how that kept happening.
I don't know. It goes with the flow, and then I remember that one that you talk about, and then like it was more easier for me because I was behind second Delpan. I don't know how you call it.
Like the chair, right, or something?
Not
the fountain,
chair.
I think.
Tap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one, okay, the fountain thing, or however you call it.
Yep.
And then they molly behind boxes. They came out short, checking it, and then they left instantly. And we knew how they play, and then I knew that they're gonna fall back, and then I had the timing, and I went close connector. I think Staven was in connector. He didn't expect me at all, and then I knew that he's gonna have some backup, and then I turned and killed that second guy. Like, if you think like it, it's not that hard to do it. But if you just watch the game, it's just, oh, what? How can he do that? Because how they don't expect the guy close connector because he can be there, no? But no, because they cleared it, and then I catch a timing as well.
So I almost choked on my own fucking.
I have a question, if I may.
Yes, you may.
Can you set me up?
Prof, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Thank you,
Prof,
Chad.
what's the question?
Very nice from you to ask. I wanted to ask like about your confidence obviously you're a confident guy. You had decent form before going into the major, but like at the major, like pushing from that, like you're 0-2, right? Then the mouse game and the challenger stage, and then started rolling, and then people started like, oh, you're like, you were legit like an MVP candidate for the major. How did your confidence in your own ability change? Did your perception of yourself as a player change? Because you coming into it, you're, you know, a decent player, and now you're like, okay, this guy, this could be like a top 20 player. Maybe he needs to be in a top 5 team in the world. You know, he can win a fucking major MVP tomorrow. You know, did your perception of yourself change?
No, I don't think so. Like for me, I feel the same like before the major, basically. It's like, I don't know. It's the major went past, and then I think I'm the same guy. And maybe because like, yeah, we are playing the practice with against tier 1 teams, and we do, and I'm doing the same shit. I'm doing my picks, I'm doing my plays, I'm doing my wides, I'm doing the same thing. Like, I'm playing with the same confidence, even though they're gonna own me for the, I don't know, 6 times. Like, even in this tournament against Oscar, he killed me 5 times in a row with the knob, but I still went for the same thing. And guess what? He killed me 7 times in a row. And then yeah, they won against that. But sometimes it happens. But
yeah,
if you keep doing it, and then if you have like a game plan, because we also on every game you have a game plan, and then we know what are they doing, we know what can you abuse on, and then yeah, you can you can literally abuse stuff, and then can take advantage out of this.
it's interesting, right? Because with what Prof's talking about, you would expect after you just owning some of the best players in the world and being on the stage and just basically proving to yourself match after match, like that you can perform at this level, you'd expect that, you know, you'd build this like, I don't know, self-confidence you didn't have before. But I guess as you're saying, you're rinsing and repeat. It's part of the process that you guys were going through, which again, it's crazy when you look back to major cycle before, you throw a Keoz in and you qualify, and you know all those things happen, and then you end up where you are today. But I guess individually, you're obviously talking about playing a lot of Faceit games in the realms of a lot of online Counter-Strike as well. Do you play a lot of deathmatch? Do you do anything particular like in your being individually ready routine?
I mean, at the beginning, yes, I was playing a lot of deathmatch because I didn't know that whenever you go on LAN, and then when you set up your PC, you don't have, you cannot play deathmatch. You need to play aimbots. And then I was hating aimbots at all. And then I found a good map that it helped, that I like it. Like, there are boats moving around, and then you can spin around like I do usually. And then I can train more. Like, but back in the days, yes, I was playing a lot of the deathmatch. Like, I was full grinding deathmatch every time. But now for me, it feels like there is no point to play deathmatch at all, because whenever you go to LANs, you cannot practice in the same way. And then for me, it's much easier to go on the same map, play the map for let's say, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, maybe more if I feel like I need more, and then go on the server and play.
Okay, so nothing too crazy. You've built up to that point now where it's just you're getting your reps in through the practice and stuff. Now, there's been a big conversation, especially off the back of the previous major, about like tier 1 and tier 2 teams, or I guess we're calling them partner and non-partner. Like, but the tier 2 divide seems to have closed somewhat, and your team obviously being a big part of that and playing a lot of officials, right? Like, how do you find? Because you only know that world, you only know the world of playing a lot of officials. How do you find it online, doing all of that week in, week out in different tournaments? How does that feel? Like, are you exhausted? Are you dragged? Do you just want more? Are you still early on where you're hungry just to play?
It feels good. Like, we want more. Like, we had this huge mistake with our first lineup in I think was before or RMR in Bucharest. And then we was like, no, let's focus on RMR. Let's don't play these tournaments, etc., etc. And then yeah, we went there, and then we went 0-3 out. It didn't went well for us, and then we learned from that, and then we say from now on we play everything. That doesn't matter if it's like 1 week before the major and 1 week after the major, let's say, and then we play basically everything that we can.
Or
like,
during the major, like Monty.
Yeah.
Or during the major, we didn't do that, but that could be a thing as well.
That was crazy seeing Monty having a player match.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on? How is this even the world that we live in right here? Okay, so
And I just wanted to just quickly kind of like to round out this major conversation as well. I was like, obviously the stats say you played well, right? Like, and you played like out of your mind, and everybody was agreeing with that. But did you feel like during those games that you were playing better than usual, or did you just like work out that like game after game you were consistent? You know, you're not in a position where you're supposed to be consistent so much. Like there will be situations, you know, where you will just die first a lot because you are just that type of a player. You know, you will be in positions where you have to take some risks, right? So, like, did you feel like you were just more consistent than usual? Do you know why, or how did it feel?
I mean, like you said, probably we went just game by game. Like I went game by game, honestly. Like I didn't think of like, okay, if I can do my plays now, or I keep the plays for the other game or whatever. But I don't know. I went game by game. It worked very well every game so far. And then
You
I don't
didn't
know.
do
I just
anything particularly special?
nothing special. Just my prayer routine. Let's say the 10 minutes of the aimbots thing, and then that's it. Like not that much. I was like, and I mean, you can say that we are full trust in the game plans, and then we are full trusting each other, and then you can say that it was how did we like went from 0-2 to the final. Like we knew that we will on that day we were bad. Basically, we were bad, but we were bad on only one map. It was Inferno.
Mm.
It wasn't like we cannot play 5 more maps because it was only one map, right? And then we knew that we can beat a lot of teams. We knew that we can play against tier 1 teams very good. We knew that we can put up a fight. We went game by game. I went game by game, and then everything worked very well.
all right, nice. I don't know where else we really pivot here because apparently, mate, you were just fucking born for this. From what like you
Nothing changed.
You just been like,
Everything's
no, I
normal.
just going through it all, going through the game plan, just fucking it. And like, mate, if anything came that easy in life for me, holy shit. Obviously, you have to work hard. That's the thing that's crazy. And but you are maintaining this mindset that exists of why you're good. But we just need to work out how to get in there. I need to get in there and work out those inner juices to know what makes you work. Because it's insane to think like coming into this period of time, and I don't know how much we could say here, and I don't know how much you want to talk about with this, but coming into this break, you're one of the hottest prospects. It's like you and BOROS at the top, and I guess flameZ as well, being open from OG at the top of everybody's tongue in terms of like riflers and looking at, and the major, like people can sit there and go, oh yeah, but the top teams, you know, they didn't do as top teams didn't do as well as because they fucking lost games to teams they lost. And you beat teams, and you were talking a major, last CSGO major, everything on the line like that, and you just come in and just fucking hammer everybody. Like it's insane to think about. Like there's no other way to really put it. Like it's something that happened, and everyone's kind of flabbergasted. No one knows what happened, and you don't either. You can't even tell us like how the hell it happened. It just fucking happened.
I mean, what can I say? Like, I mean, it's basically we played our game. Like I said, we knew that we can beat teams. We knew that the tier 1 teams, partner teams, they are very shaky, all of them.
Why do you think that is? That's a good question to why do you think they're shaky?
Maybe because I don't know, maybe they think they are better than the other teams, and then whenever they are in the game, basically, and then they see that okay, we put up a fight, and then they are trying to play way safer than they should, and they play not to lose, basically. And then if you start playing not to lose, then it's GG. Like you might get run over.
What do you attribute that success to then in terms of like preparation for the games and being able to know how to approach these tier 1 teams? You know, obviously it's not like you had a lot of experience playing against them, you know, so you were going into these games kind of almost fresh a lot of the time, you know, like especially Heroic, like that's just a big matchup in the semifinals, you know, and then it seemed like you had a good idea at least.
I mean, we had a good idea only because, I mean, we go map by map. I mean, we play first Ancient. We knew that we play very good on it. We're doing good on practice as well. We lost it sadly very close. And then we went for Inferno. We didn't expect them to pick it, to be honest. Like it was one of their worst map, I think. And then, or we didn't play it for like, let's say for 1 month or something like this. Like It was one of the favorites map for sure. It was a very close one. We won it. We also we knew that we played good on it because it was our best map coming to the major, but we lost to it games on Thursday for some reason. But we still knew that we can play good on it. And then on Mirage, it's funny that you can say that we ran over them, but we basically copied them. Like we copied the play style. Like we watched them like a lot of times how they play Mirage, so we can play better. So we can play better Mirage, and then we basically knew everything what they're doing, and it was way easier for us. Like we knew when they fake, we knew when they got there, we knew what they like to do on city side. Plus, like I said you the example of the how did I went close connector. I knew that they go back, and then it was so easy for me to go down, surprise one guy, and then turn back and kill one more. Like we knew a lot of stuff of what are they doing, and it's way easier for us. We can say that we got a bit of luck because we got heroic, and yeah, we watched them a lot, and then we also play like them, and then they didn't knew that we're gonna play like them, and then we surprised them. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't think you can say that you're lucky to get heroic. I don't think that works in any world.
Yeah, but what if we get I don't know, let's say
like
phase.
if you go against Vitality on the other side.
Phase Vitality, and then we play Mirage, and then okay, we still anti-strat them, we still have the game plan, but we don't know more about them. Like we don't know like everything they
extra
do.
deep on heroic.
Exactly.
Does siuhy just have them as a big kind of inspiration for heroic, or where does this come from? You know, that this wish to copy them so much.
I mean, they're the best Mirage team, probably, and that's why we are trying to learn something.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, that's. What about players? Do you have any players that are inspirations to you? Anybody that you like watching, or in the early days maybe you based your play style or some moves off of?
Yes, I have one. I don't have any more because I create my own play style. But back in the days, it was electronic. I was full fanboying him. Like I was watching how he plays. I was trying to play like him, and then I was basically full fanboy.
Okay, that makes sense.
Did you copy his settings as well?
Not that, no. Because I have with view models, I have my crosshair, I have my settings.
What's with your view model?
I have it more to the left.
Oh, that's right. I've seen it. Yeah, and you can see the. I saw someone put a video of it on Reddit or something like a couple weeks ago.
Really?
And it was because they were talking about you having your gun more centered so you can see like the corners of the screen. They used an example on like Mirage near connector where you could see the guy next to you on the stairs, but if your gun was there, it would have been blocking it. And maybe this was just a coincidence, but I'm pretty sure
it's a full coincidence. I like whenever I was starting playing CS more professional, I think I like the way that Crystal, I think, had the gun literally in the middle of his screen.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm not going this far. I'm going something in between. And I liked it, and then I keep playing it.
Okay. All right.
This is like classic pro player, but like everybody's like full 200 IQ. Oh, this is why he's doing it. This is why he's doing
exactly.
it. And then it's like, no, fuck it.
He's just full random. I liked it, and then that's it.
I swear
nobody's like Sticko who just like switches like, you know, left, right all the time because of like angles and things like that. You know, some people are just nerds. Some people aren't.
I'll have to have a look around see if I can find that thread, but I swear I saw something, or I'm making things up in my head. Probably both are true at the same time. All right, let's move a little bit forward here, Prof. Let's dive into some of these. What's question of the week? What's question of the week, Prof? Have I missed the whole segment?
Is
this a new segment?
No, we do it every week.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, what's the question of the week?
We don't really, but if people ask, we do.
Okay.
No,
okay.
I just asked it. The view model thing, not the view model. The thing about idols or people that he has inspiration to.
My bad.
That was a question.
Was that the question of the week?
It was a great question.
Can we come up with a better question of the week? It was a good question. I'm just thinking.
I was looking at. There's also a good question about the view model. Now we got that answered, and then the other question from Brian Chrisan. He asks, "How many offers do you have?" That's a question.
I mean, all I can say is that this is obviously like there is a lot of interest in me, but for now I'm with GamerLegion, and then until something comes up, like officially, and then I'm still with GamerLegion, and we look forward for the new season.
Okay, well there you go. There's
I
the
don't know if you saw the previous episode, but was I right in my assumption that you're kind of in a new contract?
All I can say is that's not true.
Okay,
All I can say.
interesting.
Oh,
Okay, so
okay.
not so hard to get you out then, maybe.
Okay. Some people can try and read between the lines there, I suppose. Someone in chat asked it why you guys didn't play. Where is it here? Oh, it's gone. Someone was asking about why you didn't play. Did he say Mirage against Vitality? Where's this guy's comment gone? I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people ask us why we didn't pick Mirage because we play so good against heroic, but
yeah, there it is. Dim CS or whatever it is.
But
Yeah,
then-
that's what they're asking.
but then yeah, we had 8 or 7 win streak on Overpass. We are pretty confident on it. We didn't expect to do that good on this major because in practice didn't work. Or I mean, it worked. It was like 50-50, but at the major it worked really well for us. And then we said, okay, we played the final as well. But yeah, sometimes you cannot win it all.
All right. Well, that answers the question for young lad in the fucking. Here he goes. Dim CS. He's happy with that. He's happy with that. He says he loves me. Let's see how easy it is to make people love you. You just have to ask a simple question, and away you go. All right. Well, let's dive into Skinionaire, and then I guess if we have any other questions pop up throughout, because I'm sure we have other things we want to pick your brain about here, mate. Do you know what Skinionaire is? Have you seen this one before?
I think a bit. I'm not sure. You have to explain to me.
All right. Well, it's nice and easy. It's Who Wants to Be a Skinionaire. It's based off of a fantastic television game show known as Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
No, it's not.
And
It has
BitSkins.
no similarity at all.
BitSkins, they're the sponsor. So we got skins on the line. You are the champion today, Matt. Not in the Counter-Strike that we lost, but you are the champion for somebody in chat who's typing BitSkins right now. We're going to have 5 questions. They're multiple choice. Prof has written these questions. Prof, what is the theme of this week's quiz?
I don't know. Whatever I could come up with.
All right. Whatever you could come up
That's a
with.
good theme.
I wouldn't believe how long it takes to make some of these. I swear, at least 45 minutes. It also doesn't help that I like ADHD start reading the forums or like I need to look up the stats for the question, and then I go like, oh, who played TWC 2016 for Romania, and then it just end up somewhere, and it's like, oh, I was doing something actually.
I would do so bad on this. I swear to God.
Sounds like a Romanian flair. Now we always keep Striker on standby. He can give you a hand. He can be a bit of a lifeline here. Now I've gone a bit more rigid with the rules in recent times. Striker can only assist you twice.
Okay.
Twice. Okay. Before it was just once, though.
Yeah, I know, but I said I've gone a little bit more. Come on, Striker. I'm trying to be not. Anyway, twice.
5 questions, guys.
You get 5 questions, multiple choice. Every question you get correct moves the bar up, and the value of the skin increases. And the lovely viewers at home will be taking home a prize, or at least one of them. Are we ready?
Let's go.
All right, Lucas. Question number 1. Which of the following players has the longest active stint in their team? Is it A, Simple, B, Tabson, or C, Jerry?
Jerry.
Jerry?
Yes.
Instant lock. We'll be putting in C, Jerry. The correct answer is... Simple. It's
27. Jerry?
It's almost 7 years for Simple.
Bloody
Wasn't
hell.
like statistics on HLTV that he is like the most match on.
Have you been sandbagged by
Maybe the most
HLTV's on
matches, but I
social
think
media?
this is length. This is days wise, no?
I got tricked.
Simple.
That's
right?
all right.
Prof,
Day
that's
wise,
yeah.
yeah.
Like the
got
top one
tricked.
was EliGE was somewhere at the top, right? He was the top one. Then
EliGE was number 1, Rain, and then Flom, and then Simple number 4.
yeah, there we go.
Flom.
And then it was like top 10 was Blitz, I think, as well on Nexus.
No, it was
in there.
BTN.
Yes.
All right. Well, that we'll get question 2. It's all right. Question 1.
Yeah.
That one.
Let's start.
That was Let's start. Question 2. That is question number 1. I closed the fucking panel. 1 second.
This is just like you guys at the major. Rough start, but we're
I'm gonna turn it around.
Or I just wanted to save some money.
All right. I'm ready, Lucas. Question number 2. Out of the current top 10, how many teams don't play under a European flag? 2, 3, or 4?
European
Play under a
flag.
European flag.
So
Top 10.
Yeah, they have like
one for sure is Navi, one is heroic. Liquid, I think they're in top 10. I don't think they're out.
But they don't have a 5th. Does they still count as North American?
yeah, it counts. Liquid counts.
Did we say
But they don't have-
Cloud9?
I mean, Cloud9 is in European, no? It
they
is.
would-
Well, that's the point.
But that would be 4 then. Did we count 4? We
Wait.
got 18 seconds.
So, Heroic, Navi. Okay, go for.
4? Cloud9 Liquid.
I missed it.
If
I
Profs
missed it
fucking
'cause you
tricked
laughed.
us again here,
I'm not
he
doing
didn't
anything.
trick us the first
My
time.
hands are up here.
We
I
didn't
mean,
trick
it
you.
sounds like you guys got it right. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. I think
Okay.
all of them are in the top 10.
Correct answer is 4. Okay, we're safe. We've got something
Okay.
under our belt, something to work with
Nice,
here.
nice.
We're ready and raring to go now. We've been able to pick up the second, but we've been able to pick up an answer. Let's get into question number 3. Godsent, Red Reserve, GamerLegion, NIP. Who is the player? Brolin, Hampus, Rez. So they played in all of these teams. Godsent, Red Reserve, GamerLegion, NIP. Who is the player?
This should be.
I mean, GamerLegion.
I feel there's only one answer here.
Wait,
I mean, that's
Did
the
you
point.
say-
Yeah, there's only one
Wait.
answer to these, man.
no. We're not even playing GamerLegion, right? NIP then.
No, it's the question is who played for all these teams.
Get some striker help. Striker help.
Striker buzzing.
Okay, I need help.
It should be Hampus. I don't
Hampus?
think any of the other ones played for GamerLegion, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think
that's
I don't think Brolin or Russ played for GamerLegion, so that kind of
Did
gave
he
it
play
away.
for Godsent?
And Brolin also didn't play for 3 of these even, I think.
Brolin went from Fnatic to NIP.
Yeah.
I don't know who he played for before that. I locked in Hampus. I don't know what's correct here.
Okay,
Should be
Hampus.
Hampus.
Hampus is correct.
There
Bang.
we go.
Okay.
Hampus. I just saw Hampus and GamerLegion. I went, that has to be the answer.
Yeah.
Existence.
All right, question number 4. Who hasn't won an IEM Sydney? SK Gaming, Astralis, or FaZe?
One.
There's been 3 IEM Sydneys, 2017, 2018, 2019.
I have no clue what.
I know
Astralis?
Liquid won one of them.
Astralis always got upset because it was so far.
Probably FaZe won one of these. 100%. There is no way. SK is a tricky one, so probably Astralis.
Striker,
I think
do you want to?
I like where he was going. I think Astralis is good.
We're locking in Astralis. Are we okay? Is everyone happy with Astralis? I'm going to lock in Astralis here. Locking in Astralis. Astralis has been locked in. Correct answer. Astralis. Bang.
FaZe
Yeah,
won
they
it with
always have-
Exist. Didn't FaZe win it with Exist? Was it
Yeah,
that
they had a
lineup,
stand-in,
right?
right? And it was the Bella Horizonte where they won with Croman.
Roman, yeah.
Yeah. All right. And 5th and final question coming in thick and hot and fast. Who plays for ATOX, the team that win the Perfect World Asian Tournament? I can help you with this one.
I mean, I you help me one more time, so I need
You got
help.
this? What do you think?
Wait, who plays for Atox?
Yeah, it's a fucked question.
Tobo and Cabal. Is that right?
You've nailed it. You've absolutely fucking smashed it. Prof's not getting away with this one. That is correct. Dobo and Cabal, bang on. Cabal's new team. He's fucking back, baby. People, they were already counting him out, but he's already back. IHC Cabal, and they won an event. Who would have fucking thought? Over NKT in the grand final, Gratisfaction, the New Zealand Opera on the other side of the server, and Bentet. That was about it.
We need to pay attention to the small regions, man. We need
Yeah,
to give
see,
them
I'm
some
paying
light.
attention.
We need to do that.
All right. Well, that turns to be a Skinionaire, and we're going to draw a quick winner. The winner is Homatron_TV, or is it Comatron? COMATRON_TV.
Well, hope he enjoyed his burger.
Oh, delicious. All right. All in all, we're going on an ad break. We'll be right back.
It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. Good vibe, train, yeah.
Finally, I found what I was looking for. Now that my search is over, it's gonna be a tough choice. But fortunately, no need to choose. When you can just have them all. Buy and sell skins on BitSkins.com.
Best esports odds. VIP program, and a variety of bonuses. Fast and easy withdrawals. Bet on every possible CSGO match and tournament, as well as any other esports game. Only on 22Bet.
All right, we're back from the break. We're just talking about view models a little bit more. And we found the link. Someone in chat said if I searched a specific phrase, you could find it. If people want to have a look. But Emma says that it's in the wrong hand. So you use right-handed model, not left-handed model.
So it's fake news from the start.
Yeah.
Fake news.
But this is the thing, you know, trying to come up with an answer to something that, you know, we have the answer now. So that's great.
Talking about fake news. Everything that Siuhy said last time on the show. Literally everything.
What about the BOROS thing?
I mean, BOROS was wrong, yeah.
What else did he say?
Well, the Flames
He said
thing
Flames,
that's already
Flames decided the team. I don't think that was the case either at the time.
Okay. Well, there's been a lot of things said in the last week. Emma, this is where things are about to get very interesting, I think is probably the best way to put it. Because, well, we're going to go into the roster mania in a moment. We'll quickly get through some of this recent news.
Yeah, I threw in a few things, but nothing is really that important. So if we
don't
have
need to talk about the
anything to
GOAT League stuff. Fuck that. There's also, wait till I file my official complaint about the substitute situation that also went down for the grand final. That's going to be coming later today, so don't worry about that. That'll be coming through thick and fast.
You think EliGE was a better player or what?
100%. Like look at Lenny's stats, mate. I was watching. Look, take a look. Fucking.
I mean, to be honest, EliGE owned me. Most like a lot of times. Like I was like at one point, if you watch my stream back, I was like, what is the guy doing? He's just owning me. Like I was in all of this stuff. Like I was full shocked. I was expecting a, I don't know, 520 performance and stuff like this, but he went nuts.
Well, he plays with Chev, you know. That's like that kind of a stack. Strong Beatles that they call themselves. They farm some face. They farm their facets, and yeah,
I've met them a few times. They usually destroyed me, as far as I remember.
Yeah, that's what happens when you play Dust 2 and Train, 2 maps that aren't actually map pool. Anyway, moving swiftly on to relevant things. IEM Sydney was announced today. It's coming back. I've known about this for a while. Obviously, I haven't been able to spoilerino it, but it's good that the IEM Fall is going to be heading back to IEM Sydney to Sydney for IEM. It's always fun down there. The crowd's great. It's a change of venue this time round, which is a good and a bad thing. The reason it's a good thing is because it's much more city central. So for the teams and players going, they don't have to venture too far from the hotel in that kind of area. I would assume to get to see Sydney should be much easier for people to get on in. I haven't had a look at the ticket prices and all that kind of good jazz, but I looked at the venue. It looks pretty nice. And yeah, if we can get, you know, a good atmosphere as we have in previous years, it should be another fun event. So which one of you two gets to go, Striker or Prof?
I think neither of us, actually.
Hopefully neither. Yeah, I mean, I went
not
3
flying
times.
Your business or what?
I went 3 times. I went to all 3 IEM Sydneys that happened, and I think I'm too old for that shit now. Like those 28, 32 hour like travel, not even more travel day if you had like the hotel to hotel and like home to apartment. It's insane. That travel's insane. And on like the economy in my age, it's too hard, man. It's just too hard.
Okay. Well, who are you going to send then in the stead of the two of you?
We have a guy who's from Vancouver, so he can go the other way, which is only like 15 hours apart, like instead of our like whatever it is, 20
that's a direct
something.
Flight, bro.
That is a direct flight. Yes.
What? Vancouver to Sydney is a direct flight.
Yeah.
Is it really?
It is really. It is really a direct flight. It could not be any better, honestly, for us. Like, there's nobody who can be closer than that.
How long is that?
Like,
15 hours. Holy
but Note
shit.
was like, I don't know if I want to go to a country where everything wants to kill me, so we'll have to see about that one.
No, everything will be fine.
That thing is overrated. Like, it's fine. Like, I've been there.
I mean, in the middle of the city, I'm sure it's fine. Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
You'll be right. We'll put protectors with you at all times. You guys will be fine. You won't have any dramas. Actually, you guys aren't going.
So, Note. He's a little bitch.
Emma, will you go if you get the chance? I know a lot of people won't go to Australia because it's too far, but if you had the chance, would you go?
Nope. Nope, not in vacation for sure. I mean,
Really?
I explained to you. I think it
Yeah.
was 2 days ago. Like, we wanted to play to qualify for Melbourne, and then it was me and acoR that we say, "Oh no, we are not going. I'm not going." Like, if you see like mega huge spiders, snakes, and all of the stuff, I like. And then what SPUNJ says to me, like, you can just see in the metro maybe some little red spiders that they cannot kill you, but they can kill kids.
Yeah, that's the redback spider.
I mean, okay, yeah, I will come for sure.
You'll be fine. You look. Well, you'll definitely be okay. And it upsets me because Paul Rush, the observer, he said he won't fly all the way to Australia to observe. So more people just saying it's too far. Too many people think it's too. We need to invent teleportation.
And if I had like a week before that in like China or something, like halfway through, and then went over, I think that would be a better. But like the travel alone is fucking insane.
What's after Sydney though? Is there any events after Sydney? Like, isn't there the break after, or is that before? That can't be the break.
It
is.
No, it is like IEM Sydney, and there's a month. There's the month where the major is supposed to be.
I thought you
so
meant break,
that is literally. No, but like there's no line events as far as we know. They just threw in the Thunderpick thing there, I think, but that's what it is, right? Yeah.
That's a great segue, Striker. Do you see what he did just there?
Yeah, absolutely intentional.
You just segued us straight into the Thunderpick $600,000 World Championship. Over to Prof for details.
Fuck is happening with these tournaments? Like, you're playing Goatly for 250K. Like, you earned 10K off of this event, right?
Yeah, would have won 20 if it wasn't shit maps and fucking ridiculous stand-in rules that have been coming out here. This isn't sanctioned. Where the fuck's ESIC? Get Ian Smith on the phone. Get Ian. This would never stand.
No, but it's also, I don't know, fucking Thunderpick $600,000.
Is it online?
Yes.
Cloud9 are going to win it.
Yeah, probably. They also are going to like pay for some like NA teams to come boot camp for it and stuff like that.
That's good news. We like that.
It's nice. It's nice for it to happen.
Yeah.
It's just
and there's
crazy
like 100K just for the qualifiers, though. I think like a part of the prize pool is just for the qualifiers. I'm pretty sure.
So it's just crazy how much money some of these tournaments have right now. That's all I wanted to say. So good for all of the non-partner team that they get to play something else maybe.
Okay, cool. Are we happy with the recent news? Anything else happened that anyone else wants to mention before we move swiftly on?
I mean, it's all in the roster part, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the fun stuff. Let's get into the moment you've all been waiting for. The madhouse that has been the last, I guess it's really been the last week where things have just seemed like absolutely fucking crazy. Like the last week, as soon as
remember last time we were talking about how like nothing's decided, like everybody's talking, but nothing is really decided. Now we're getting to the hot part where like things are starting to get decided very quickly.
But this is the part. So this is obviously all happening because of the Blast roster lock for the group stage, right?
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, I've tried to get Blast's view on this again because last time people were kind of complaining about it, and I think they made it a little bit looser. They give them a little bit more time during this exact period. I don't remember if this was before the winter one or the last summer one, but one of them I know that they were definitely looser with the rulings. It wasn't 3 weeks before. I think they give them like an extra week, or they just were a little bit more lenient with what they were allowing, because I think the rule book says that they like past the roster lock, they only allow emergency switches, but there was some obvious changes that were not emergencies that happened after the roster lock. So I think Blast is just a little bit not so like to the letter about the rule book. So I'm not 100% sure that it's so.
But also
strict.
the roster lock is like if you make changes after the roster lock, you just lose your seed essentially.
Yeah, but it's still like the rule book still says that you're only allowed to do emergency changes afterwards.
I was talking to someone yesterday, right? I was talking to someone yesterday about this, and they said, yeah, they were talking to Blast about submitting their roster, and they said, well, we haven't worked it out yet. What if it's a day or two late or whatever? And they said, well, we'll just submit your old roster then. And
I mean, that's what they've done in the past, but that's also caused issues. That was the whole phase situation
it's so stupid.
that happened.
What is the point of the roster lock?
It's fucking useless. Like, that's my point. Like, especially in this period where like we know everybody will make changes, so why cut them by like 2 weeks or more time?
If it's for travel, right? If it's for travel,
yeah, you
like
can just have the teams like cover the costs
for themselves.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, who's the roster you have right now? Okay, we'll book flights for all of these people. Oh shit, you need to change a flight. You have to pay for that. That's out of your pocket now.
Yeah.
Right. I look at it and I wonder why this roster lock even exists. It's
No,
not
it's
like
not because
it's
of content
affecting
either. Like,
it's not even affecting open circuit teams. It's affecting partner teams. The only other teams it's affecting are their fucking partners who are all in on it. I just it doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
The-
hamstrings them really hard. Like, it's crazy.
The,
So
the
I
best
feel like
thing
that
is
needs
we
to
get all
change.
this news, Striker.
Yeah, I mean,
It kept
we
you
do get
busy.
it kind of. Yeah, it does happen all at once and all way too quickly compared to what the entire summer break is, because it ends at like whatever, like second week of July, right? It is like the cutoff
I
for
might have
the
a,
official one anyway.
I might have a bit of a segue here to get Emma involved in the conversation, mate. So you're experiencing this play break this time round, right, and getting to kind of witness it from a whole different perspective due to your performance. But like normally, would you be having a break now, or would you just be fragging?
I mean, normally, yes, I'll have a break, but this time it was different because yeah, my girlfriend has some exams to finish, and then they moved also the player break, and then it fucked it up for us at least. I mean, I think a lot of people complain about
Yeah.
about this, that they moved the player break, and then now you cannot get a proper vacation because either I will start the practice with the team, and then she's gonna finish with the exams, and then there's no vacation for us. And yeah, it goes only for the grading.
Yeah, well, and I guess like it just changes the structure of what you're going to do with this time. But I think when I look at this from, because I know a lot of players were concerned about CS2 and maybe thinking they wouldn't be able to have a vacation because they'd have to play, but we still don't know when that's going to happen. And
yeah,
so that's the jury's still kind of out on that. But now it's like this musical chairs that's gone on to the most Prof Striker, would you say this is the most extreme it's ever been? I know it's hard to measure this while we're in the moment, but this feels, especially with the NAVI stuff, like
I think
the NAVI stuff is what makes this feel like really fucking strange.
I would say it's, I don't know what you call extreme in terms of not just the sheer number of teams that are changing. Probably, I think it's just not so top heavy. So I think some people might be a little bit disappointed that it's not like, there's not so many talks about G2 phase and like heroic. Let's say like a lot of the top teams look like they're not going to change so much. So I think because it's not so top heavy as it was when like the ROPS to phase change came in, Vitality change came in, like G2 changed the entire roster, like all these big ones happened at the same time. It's not as big as that in terms of top, but overall, like from number 1 to number 25 or whatever, like there's like half of them changing, which is more than usual.
Okay, so do you think I'm overblowing it by saying it's the most extreme?
I think it is. Like, look, it has definitely felt the most extreme based on like just how much is being leaked, how much like there's being talked about, like what's even possible, like who's talking to whom. EG is fucking talking to like 25 different players, so that helps that they are like so active at this point. So like literally everybody's getting approached by them. So that's a part of it, because like some teams are so desperate that they're just talking to everybody possible.
I think the only thing that's missing to make it like ultimately like unequivocally,
yes,
like
that's
the
the right
biggest ever roster change would be to have one of those like tier 1 marquee player signings. Like we don't have any,
But I see what you're saying.
Nico
Like
Simple,
device,
Zaiwu, device, that kind of players making some moves.
I mean, if
but
it's like
other than
electronic, I think it gets there.
That is
We're
true.
going to get there very
That is
quickly.
true.
Yeah,
that is true.
It's close though. He's close. Like he's just under like a that level of size. It's a massive name. But like the Fallen name's a huge name, but it doesn't come with like the fragging prowess at the moment, right? Like that's probably one of the different factors there. I just look at this, and with some of the rumors, things are starting to come back to me from my haze of Dallas, like of talking to people and hearing about like this NAVI international thing. At the time I blew it off. I was like, people are fucking, they don't even know what day it is. Like they're lost their mind if they think this is happening. People were talking about this back at Dallas. And then I remember like hearing some of the names that they had, like, I don't know if they'd approached them. I don't know how far these conversations have went, but like who they were interested in. I heard that NAVI were interested in like players like Nico and Hunter or Twist at one point, like names of like superstar level players on other teams to go international and build around Simple. And I don't know what's true. I don't know. I just hear all the murmurs. People come, they say, oh, I heard this, I heard that. But when you hear NAVI going international and Liquid now with the rumors around the direction they're going with Rainwaker and potentially the Patsi situation, right? Yeah, obviously, I know not everyone's happy with them moving away from North America. We can dive into that in a second. But NAVI going as well as Liquid to full international, we're kind of now the ship sailed. The majority of the best teams in the world now are definitely international. We're not in nation-based teams anymore. We're in a whole different neighborhood, right? Like, and this has been slowly creeping up. It's been happening more and more. And I think about it, I think it's bad for countries who have like a lot of good players and you could put some good teams together. Yeah. But I think it's great for people like IMA, for example, or like JKS, for example. But there's all of those little, there's both sides of the fence, right? Like you're either going to be a player who's from a smaller region who doesn't have enough players to build your own team, or you're going to be a player from a region like Denmark, and then there's already 2 good teams, and how the fuck are you even meant to get on a team, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, there's also kind of like the business perspective to consider. Like national teams are just sell better in terms of sponsorships and things like that as well. And especially if you're like a North American team who doesn't have a North American roster, that can also affect things. And like just generally within Europe, I think I heard something about like, you know, the partnerships in ESL are kind of decided by viewership and like how much, like what teams pull in the biggest numbers and things like that, like the revenue share basically between them. And from what I understand, like some of these lower tier like international teams are the worst ones because they don't have like let's say a Mouse, you know, for example, would be kind of low on that just because they don't have, there's no real fan base, you know, there's nobody to like go around a team like Mouse because they're from everywhere. Nobody really connects with them. Like as of like one big fan base doesn't really connect with them, you know, they just like pick and choose some of these fans that are like fans of the individual players, but it's never going to be a country, you know, it's never going to be like, you know, Heroic is the wrong example because they're not very well liked in Denmark in general. Like Big would be a good example, maybe, even though Germany just doesn't seem like super active at the moment either. But you know what I'm talking
Romania
about.
Romania on YouTube though, is another good example.
For example, you know, yeah, Romania on YouTube.
They fucking love it on YouTube. They can't get enough of it.
So I think that's from that perspective as well. Like, and I can understand that because of like this nationalistic kind of pride. You're just always going to gravitate towards players from your country and like being fans of them and stuff like that. And it's not always so easy to connect with these international mixes, you know. So you're kind of gonna like tend towards just individual players rather than teams, you know, and that creates problems because then like it's easy to shift from one team to another, all that stuff, you know. So I understand it from kind of like the business perspective that it's a problem as well, you know.
Yeah, and this is the thing again. This constant conversation we have about the evolution of things and all changing in front of us, and we don't know where it's going to end up. But right now, there's no doubt we're in the international world of Counter-Strike, and teams are making changes to win. So we have I made. Well, it's not great. It's not one of the proudest things because I was trying to play Counter-Strike and not lose today, and then I still lost. But I made.
Maybe you should have focused on one or the other.
Yeah, I guess I should have focused on the playing Counter-Strike.
I'm sure it's great, Chad.
You can bring this up, Lucas, and we'll go through the pages here, and we'll talk through some of the changes with some of the teams. Thanks, Prof. I need that right now. I'm fucking tilted as fuck. I'm still holding it together. I don't know how. I really just want to smash my monitor into a fucking pulp.
It's fine. Second place is good enough.
Not good
enough.
Why? It's not good enough. It's not. Well, how do we lose those noobs, man? Like those fucking just playing Dust 2 and Train, or abusing bots.
Sometimes you lose.
Shocks drop 30 on Dust 2, like 30-10 KD.
Yeah, well, that's probably last time it was good was when Dust 2 was still in the map pool. It's like, you know what's going on here, man?
Do you think
raging?
Do you think he told Oscar to speak in a French accent and like cosplay Smiths? And
yeah,
like,
I think so. I think that was exactly what was happening. All right, where are we at here? Lucas brought it up already. Thank you, Lucas. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Lucas. Okay, so here we go. We're starting with FURIA. This is what's up, Prof? I gotta look over here.
He wanted to say something about wonderful. I'm just like I could just
no. I was just laughing at Chad. He's just kind of a funny guy.
I got a crook neck, man. I have to look over here to this screen to see what's on the fucking screen. It's not ideal. Okay, FURIA, where we're starting. Fallen said yes. They've had the nuptials. So apparently queserado, he was out. He wanted to go. This is what I heard. Apparently queserado, he was like, I'm out. I want to go. And then he didn't go. He stayed. And apparently now Fallen's coming and they're keeping Yuri, queserado, R, and Fallen. And we need a fifth. Who's the fifth?
I think Vinny will fit very well, to be honest.
Vinny back to FURIA.
And it would be funny if he came back. I mean, he was never supposed to go, right? That was the whole thing.
What do you mean he was never supposed to go?
I mean, he was like, why would he leave FURIA for that, right? I don't know if they decided he would leave or like, I don't remember the exact story, you know, but he went from there to eventually Imperial. You know, why would you go from Furia to Imperial? And
Yeah,
especially because of what it cost for Furia, right? Like they just didn't find a good enough replacement. I mean, I don't think anybody was super sold on Drop, or
that is true.
before that on Honda and whatever the last name was. I've just forgot now.
So do we know who they're actually?
I mean, there was
like, because
there
the
was something.
Fur thing, he
There's a
retired, didn't
cello.
he?
There was a cello.
There was like something about Cello
today.
recently from like Game Arena. I don't know how much stock we can put into that. I think like Game Arena has reported on some things that are just like very like loose and doesn't really necessarily mean anything. So I wouldn't put too much stock into it. Our boy Hockey is the lead reporter from Brazil, and like whenever he says something, that's what I believe. There's a whole meme in Brazil that they will understand. And so I'm not sure if that's something that we necessarily need to believe in, especially because there was the whole thing about like the initial offer for Fallen was like below what his contract stipulates for his buyout and things like that. I don't think Furia are a big spending org as well, and Imperial probably spent a decent amount on, you know, first of all Fallen, but even probably a guy like Cello, he's been signed pretty recently as well. So like buyout wise, I'm not sure if that's going to be possible unless Furia have money that I'm not aware of.
Well, you assume Fallen's not cheap.
Yeah, I mean, Fallen comes with a lot of different factors. I mean, he was even talking about it in my interview with him that like it really depends on if the team will like take on some of my businesses and like help with that aspect, you know, and like sponsorships and things like that. So I think that's a part that also plays into it, and where he might not have so much like such a big requirement on a salary, for example, if there's like some help with the other aspect as well. So I don't know. There's a lot that goes beyond just the buyout itself, I would say.
Okay. Well, I think that those factors with Fallen are probably something that they'll try and get past, because it'll be the biggest org in Brazil with Fallen there. KSRado and Yuri, they're still great. Obviously, Fallen's going to open in-game lead. I guess Art's going to secondary open, be aggressive. And then that's why I think with what you said, Emma, having somebody like a Vinny or just a nice anchor rifler is pretty nice for them to have here. But I don't know what the future for Drop and Safe looks like. I don't even know if we should bother getting into that conversation right now. Imperial is probably going to be left in tatters. I don't know. Like replacing Fallen's not going to be easy. If they don't have Big Uzera, like, is he too expensive? Like, there's so many questions like that. This leaves me here with this is the Brazilian roster that's going to end up.
It would be crazy to get bigger Zero and have like 3 IGLs kind of in one.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't get Fallen. You wouldn't get Fallen and Big Uzera. You'd get one or the other, right?
Yeah,
probably. I mean, yeah, again, Big Uzera is not a guy that necessarily has to in-game lead either, but I could see what you're talking about. But still, like, the whole thing with Furia was that because of these high buyouts in Brazil, they might have to go like an academy player route or somebody who's like kind of unproven again. So that might be in their future, especially if they get Fallen, who's probably expected to be fairly expensive.
I don't know.
I think if we do a thumbs up or thumbs down on this roster with like, let's say Vinny as a 5th or whatever, or academy player, which is maybe the more realistic. I don't
really
know.
I think it ends up there. What about the EliGE stuff? He speaks Portuguese.
I'm not really sold on this as being like a huge improvement. It's okay. It's a completely different roster just because Fallen is IGLing, but like, I don't know. It's not the blockbuster move you want, essentially.
I think in general, like, I don't think it's not like Safe was doing a bad job, but he necessarily wasn't a big mover in that team. It was always KSRado and Yuri, and it was very dependent on them. And like, as much as Fallen doesn't have the fragging power as you were talking about earlier, you know, like the biggest gripe with Furia has been their playstyle, you know, and so having a different set of eyes on it, I think, is still better than what it was before, because I didn't see any sort of change in that in terms of their playstyle, even though they were kind of like advertising how much they will change for the future and things like that. It didn't seem like that much changed. So I think it's still, I don't know, for me it's still a positive sign, and I still have like respect for Fallen as an in-game leader. Whether they're going to make it work with him as an opper, I think it also depends on the 5th piece. Like, it cannot be another Drop, I would say. It just has to be somebody more reliable.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Emma, what do you think of this roster? What do you think of the Fallen edition?
I mean, that's the thing. That's why I said Vinny will fit here, because then you have on T side, at least you have Vinny Art that takes space, and then you have Caserato, Yuri, that they can come behind these two guys and then trade, and then you have Fallen IGL as an op as well, and then that's a huge thing because he can just hold an angle, hold all of the stuff, and then that's it. Then
Do
I
you think
think
it could work?
it could work, to be honest. Yeah, because that's what you want. You want two guys who are aggressive, and you want two guys who are passive, and then you want an opera that they can do. He can do both, and I think following he can do both of them.
I actually do think that Fallen's like opping playstyle does fit in with like the FURIA, kind of like the attack trio, let's say, because he does like combat opping, like he does take close duels and things like that. It could be like he could be part of that combat trio that just attacks sites together and things like that. That I could just see it work in terms of just playstyles. Obviously, like firepower is the question mark, I think, because if you have just KSRAD on Yuri, it might be a problem. But that's why I was talking about the fifth piece. I mean, I think that's the bigger key almost.
All right. Yeah, I think it's curious. Like when I initially heard the Fallen news, I was like, oh man, what the fuck's going on here? But if you still have KSRAD, you still have Yuri. If they can produce and you can get a third, oh, have I timed out?
Nope, I think you're good.
Oh shit! Oh, my webcam shit just froze. I thought I timed out.
Okay, no, you're good. We could even see you the whole time. All good.
Anyway, I was agreeing. Let's stop agreeing. Let's move on to the next slide. Lucas, go to slide 3, please. We'll skip slide 2 for now. We'll go to slide 3. Slide 3's got a little bit more interest to me. Well, jumping on the liquid one. Prof, you had a lot to say about this. Do you want to get saying?
I don't know why I think I had a lot to say about this. But I will
were you unhappy with them moving away from North American angle?
Obviously, it's kind of lame. It's just lame. It's just lame that you would have a lineup that is the best North American lineup that is not North American anymore, and it seems unlikely that we'll just ever have a good North American team anymore. That it's just done, kind of. I don't see how.
Okay.
Maybe Complex can try to like get into that. It doesn't seem like EG wants to be involved in that anyway. So it's just kind of lame. That's it.
So you're just disappointed that it's not going to exist for NA.
Yeah,
but you can see why Liquid would do a move like this, right?
I don't think the lineup is too bad. Obviously, people the way the news came out is like first was the Patsi thing, and then it was like the EliGE and the Rainwalker. But I think it's more like Patsi is a replacement for EliGE, and then Rainwalker is a replacement for Nitro, because it seems like role-wise, Patsi is the aggressive player, so like the EliGE type. And when you look at it like that, it's not that bad, but it's also two players that are kind of, I don't want to say, they're not like clear 100% upgrades. It's not like they're not buying tier 1 players. They're buying like tier 1.5, tier 2 players that fit the roles that they want, which is a different approach, I would say, for Liquid. And it's if you're importing European players, you just hope for them to import like top shit, like with Yakindar, for example.
Run that by me again. Like talking about the players they're picking.
Yeah, I was like, it's not really a Liquid thing to just pick like tier 2 players and throw them in the lineup.
I mean, as far as I can understand, like they are not super willing to go into big buyouts, so like getting out big players is problematic, right?
But isn't this when we have to
difficult to get out?
This is the thing, right? And I don't know where we look at this whole scenario here, but I think this whole roster shuffle we have right now is probably driven by a lot of things, and fear probably being one of them, of what comes next with CS2. And people assuming that there is a chance that not everybody's skill will just transfer from point A to point B, and that people won't be as good from game to game. So Liquid picking a player like this Rainwaker kid from 500, they've obviously done their homework, right? They've looked into him. They've seen if
maybe Eman knows something about this guy.
I mean, I know. I mean, you said that Patsi is gonna be the aggressive guy, but Rainwalker I think it's more aggressive than Patsi, to be honest.
What?
That's the thing. Like, have Yakindar that he can be like, we all know that he's like going crazy, full aggressive, and all of this stuff. And then if you bring 2 more, it's might be a mess at one point. In my opinion,
I looked at his stats. I haven't looked at his games, but stats are like he is the least aggressive player on the team, just like in opening duels. I'm not saying that he doesn't go for plays and stuff like that. In terms of opening duels, he's like on the bottom. So
from what I remember playing against him, he's like let's say on Mirage, and he's playing City. I can't remember if he's playing short or connector, but all I know is that he likes to jump under, he likes to push mid, he likes to do this type of shit. Like, okay, he also likes to lurk as T-sided, but yeah. And I know that he likes to save a lot. Like he's that type of guy. He's like not gonna try to win a 1v3 for an example, but he's kind of aggressive as well.
Okay, well that's interesting. So you think that it might not fit in terms of the players with Yakinda, Rainwaker, and Patsi all being maybe too aggressive?
And yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
because they need to do changes in the team then, because they can't have 3 guys going aggressive. They cannot
someone will
have
have
like
to change their play.
I mean,
exactly.
surely if you're Yakindar, you're not going to be quite as aggressive as
Especially if
you've
you're
been.
in-game leading.
Yeah,
right?
that's my point. Like it's just easy to get tunnel visioned, I think, from that position and not be able to direct the team. And especially if it's going to be this big of a change, you have like Patsi and Rainwaker. If those 2 guys are coming in, there's probably going to be needed some micromanagement for them and things like that, you know. So I just don't know how it's going to work in terms of where Yakindar will even play after this. It could be that, you know, Patsi just becomes a bit less aggressive and like takes kind of like the EliGE kind of refragger type position, but still, like I think there's a lot that to unpack with this, and I'm not even sure where to start because like I would have to check into Rainwaker's games and where he plays.
Sure, I guess if we're talking like player for player, this is what my point here is. They've obviously picked this kid for a reason, right? Like and
by the way, it's not even. By the way, it's not. This is not even 100%. Like as far as we can tell, Patsi is the one that
operating until real.
Yeah,
striker.
I mean that's the problem. Like I think people are taking it a little bit too seriously at the moment with Rainwaker. I think Patsi is the one that's very close to happening as far as I can tell. And like the biggest holdup is just like getting him out of a contract with a Russian organization, and like that was something that obviously was the same problem with Yakindar. Liquid managed to get around it.
Based in Serbia now, they're a Serbian organization.
I don't know how. Look, I can only go off of what the report from Ryan said. I didn't exactly hear this specific situation. I just heard enough to know that like there's obvious interest. There's definitely everybody wants to make this happen, and there's been some commitment made. But 100%, some of these little details that might be contractual situation, buyout situation, there still might be some hold up in that, even from what I heard. What specifically, it's a bit, it's a bit murky in that. But that's the one that should happen as long as like nothing fucks up. Rainwaker, I think, is the one that's up and down, and if EliGE is leaving, not leaving, that seems to be like going to be a point of discussion in the next couple of days.
But this will all be locked in, whether it's public or not. It'll all be somewhat locked in. Yeah, okay. So I guess some of those more contentious points that we were touching on and you spoke about already, Prof, it didn't even really click with me about the North American thing, but that's because I guess everyone knows my stance on the smaller regions and everything like that. Like if you want to compete and you want to win and the players in the team want to win, we know you have to be in Europe. Like that's not even a conversation. If we want to have it's a different debate about, oh yeah, well, what can we do to help North America or help this region or help that? That's not the conversation we're having here this evening. The conversation we're having is people making roster changes to be the best they can be. And I understand why people might see the Rainwaker one and go, well, this isn't a fucking BOROS. This isn't an IME. This isn't someone who we've just seen play well, but this is obviously someone the team decided. And I imagine he's not very expensive. And I imagine going into CS2, that if it doesn't work, it's almost like no harm, no foul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, well, we tried, and now we can buy someone else, you know? Whereas I imagine Patsi's going to cost them some money.
That was like 100K, I think, was the number thrown out in the Ryan report.
And we know that like we've spoken about this before in the past, that NAF doesn't seem like he has any issues wanting to be in Europe to play Counter-Strike all the time. Like we know his missus lives over this side of the pond. I was believed that it was Nitro and EliGE who were the 2 that wanted to be in North America a little bit more, right? Which was another factor for Liquid, for them having to be in North America.
I am curious how much that's changed, by the way, because if you're like, look at EliGE, right? Like if you're a guy like EliGE and you see that, okay, this is a key problem of why you can't stay in Liquid, like you have to move to Europe, where the fuck would you go to be able to be in North America like this? You just have to move to Europe at this point. Like there's nowhere else for you to go, right? for you not to spend, you know, a lot of time in Europe. Like you can't stay. I don't know where he would go to be able to stay more time.
To be going to EG?
I'm not sure how much to believe that that's actually happening as well. Like again, still a lot I think depends on if Liquid actually want him to stay or not, and how much he has decided that that Europe is okay. Because I think either way, you know, even if he goes with EG, they're also going European. They're also going to have to stay a lot of time in Europe. No, everybody is. Like at this point, North America is fucked. Like nobody's staying there.
Yeah, we don't need to
long-term.
talk about North America today. We could say that for
That's my point. So I think EliGE at
Lucas,
this point.
quickly go to slide 5. Keep going, Striker.
No,
I
I think if you're EliGE, like you will just have to realize, okay, I will have to spend time in Europe. There's no chance for me to play Counter-Strike at the top level and do what I want, meaning stay as much time as possible in that NNA.
Emma, what do you think? What do you think of this on your screen right here, mate? What do you think of that bottom roster? How's that make you feel? Get your boy Electronic in there.
I mean, I think it's better than the first roster.
Well, this is a rumored. Isn't this a rumored roster? Like this one down the bottom here, isn't that? I'm reading the dirt sheets.
That could be kind of like the direction, I guess. I don't know.
Look how wild this is.
Bro. But it's just also
look at it.
Like it's also aggro as fuck, isn't it?
It's so crazy. Like if that's even partially real, like some of these things are so insane. Like I'm looking at this going, what? Like I
mean, surely like the EliGE Electronic is kind of like one or the other, right? And that's more like they would find another piece.
Why not? Why not get both?
I mean, you could get both, I suppose, but like role wise, I'm talking about like how they want to set the team up. And I know that from what I've heard, Malik is the one who's kind of taking over, and that's why the French direction for a moment. I mean, this could still change a lot, I would say. And it's like Electronic, as far as I can tell, is not going to be easy to get out of Navi, and it's not even 100% that he's actually leaving.
Well, what
from
are all
what
the
I've
tweets
heard.
and stories about and shit,
Bro,
then?
I mean, the problem is like a lot of people will just like blurt out everything that's not 100% yet, and that's why I'm a little bit more careful about what I hear and what I'm sharing, like in actual reporting. So that's why I'm trying to do a little bit more like tempering the expectations, just because a lot of this is not 100%. Like same with EliGE, same with Electronic and Perfecto, leaving Navi. As far as I understand, this is like there's still going to be like a final decision made about this, unless it is happening now or whatever, and something just changed since the last time I talked to people. But it's just there's still a lot up in the air at this point that's undecided. If something was signed, I would know at this point.
Emma, what do you know? Spill the beans, mate. Who's joining Navi?
I have no clue. All I'm saying, I mean, I saw the tweets, the rumors that they may be going international, but maybe they don't go. This is gonna be the first time when they go international, right?
Yeah, they had
that might be huge as well.
That's the thing. Like for an organization like Navi, which represents Ukraine, right? Like on the and this is why I'm wondering, why aren't we seeing them if they want to move away from Perfecto and Electronic, right? Why aren't we? Why?
You know what's the crazy part about this, by the way? I don't know that this is 100% true, but as far as I can tell, it's not Navi's decision.
Oh shit!
Like the Electronic and Perfecto parts, like people will probably think, okay, like it's the Russian connection, and that's like they finally put their foot down. But it's, as far as I can tell, it doesn't even make sense why that would be the case, because like why would you keep them for a year and a half into the war and like suddenly decide, okay, it's not okay anymore, Unless
wait, so it's not
change their
Navi's
mind
idea that they're leaving?
Yeah, as far as I can understand that, it's like if that's like they started that conversation rather than Navi, wanting them out, and that makes, like, if you think about it, that makes 100% sense. Like again, why would they want them out? They are the two pieces like that are super key to them staying outside of an international roster. Like if they don't have these two, who the fuck do they get? Like they can't stay Russian speaking if they lose both of them.
What about the guys from Bait? Prof's a Captain Kirk fan.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of unproven guys. I mean, fucking hell. Like it's you will have to rebuild hard. Like it's crazy how bad things could get for Navi. But like I heard the same thing as you, by the way, that they were like really
they were shopping around
for big names. Like they were looking at big names at least. Maybe not 100% offers, but they were definitely considering some of these players that are in established organizations and like maybe aren't so willing to leave.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like when the Aleksib one, if they're going international and they're looking for an in-game leader, okay, you can understand that conversation pretty immediately because, well, Hampus is gone. Hampus took Alexi's spot, right?
It would be fucking crazy if an IP didn't want Alexi and then just like kicked him and he would go to Navi. Surely not.
And play with Simple. How crazy?
Surely not.
Prof, imagine that. Imagine Simple playing with Aleksib on Navi. Can you envision that?
Bro, that would be the craziest fucking shit ever. What kind of career is that for Aleksib? Like 6 months and G2 kicked, 6 months and NIP kicked, and now he goes to Navi to IGL Simple. Like, get off, man. Give a fuck off with that shit. That's impossible. That's fucking impossible. I can't accept this reality at all.
I don't know, man. I look at this is the one that I don't know. Like I really have no idea.
No,
I
I
mean,
think
the
I don't think
rumor of
they even know
Nexa
at this
makes as
point.
much sense.
Oh shit,
realistically,
but Nexa is staying with OG now.
it seems like it. Yeah.
Yep.
Lucas, go to slide 2.
Yeah.
Oh, is that official?
No. Nexa coming back is not official yet, but it is that is happening.
But they
as far as I
tweeted
can
about
tell.
degster and Neofrag today.
I mean, I reported about the whole move that they signed Regali, that Nexa is coming back, and these 3 guys will be the ones that they will build the rest. I don't have enough of indication on the last 2 players. I think they're still looking around. They are one of the Blast teams, so they are gonna have to make at least some sort of a decision fairly soon. It could be that Neofrag will still play out groups or whatever, if they can't find a 5th player. Like there's plenty of space, for these teams to just like extend this period for a little bit longer, because nobody's like, realistically, Blast groups is the only one that's like in the way, and like anybody can play that with any roster. Like realistically, it's not an important event to do well at to start the season. Sure, let's qualify for the final, but you still have the showdown afterwards. You still have some chance to qualify for the full final, right? So I think it's not such a big deal if some of these teams that maybe wouldn't have been in such a great position to qualify anyway, that they will take a little bit more time.
Okay. Well,
people are talking about Fiku. From my understanding, obviously, like stat-wise, is not doing that crazy, but from my understanding, in the team, they thought he was like.
He was not causing problems, I would say.
Yes, he's essentially like the team player, the glue player, and kind of does the dirty work on the team. So they are okay with what he was bringing to the lineup, essentially.
I think he also had the bad position as well.
Yeah,
like, he wasn't one of the star players, let's say.
Yeah,
and then it's even harder to have stats on that.
But it is like the degster part, I think, is the craziest one that they would decide to bench him, which is the case as far as I can tell. It wasn't like degster, he's not getting bought out like at the moment. So I have not had any indication that I know that there's been some questions.
People asked
him
about it from what I heard, but people aren't interested.
I mean, I know that some teams were at least like curious if they could buy him out, but I think his buyout is too high for teams to actually spend. Like the biggest problem right now in this offseason is that there are very few teams willing to spend, but a lot of teams wanting to sell, because like everybody's looking to get some budget, get some money, and not a lot of teams are willing to sell to buy, to spend big money. Like basically 3 teams at the moment that, as far as I can tell, that are willing to spend a bit more, at least for single players, would be EG, NAVI, and until now Falcons, who just rounded out their roster with BOROS, who as I understand was fairly expensive.
Yeah, we can bring that slide up, Lucas. The Falcons slide is slide 4. So we've got this one right here: MBK, Body, MHL, signed from Endpoint, Lonks from Sprout, and obviously BOROS from Monty. So this roster right here, this is I think it's an exciting roster. There's some definitely like prospects. There's no doubt about that, and we've seen them in action in recent times.
This is like CS2 preparation, man. Like crazy levels, I would say.
But what are they playing? Just all the online shit.
Yeah, I mean, so far I would say, yeah.
Okay, so that's the problem. Like they have this roster, they spend money for it, but they're only going to be able to play the online shit.
They should be in the Gamers 8s.
Did they qualify?
I think they got invited, or am I
invited.
crazy? They are invited. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the organization is obviously from Saudi Arabia as well.
Makes sense. Yeah, okay. But
this lineup's pretty sick. This lineup's pretty sick.
You like this? You like it?
Yeah.
I mean, I like it as well.
What do you like about it, Emma?
I mean, you have 3 players that can shoot hard. You have Body, that he was owning everybody. Like he was the only guy who stood up in the last Falcons lineup. Then you have Longs. We all know him. Like he can do a lot of shit, a lot of stuff. And then he's also not playing the star players roles. Like he's playing like anchor-ish on some maps. For example, he's playing B Vertigo. He's playing I don't know. He was playing BF's Mirage at one point, from what I remember, and he's still pulling like some weird stats. Like he's like 120 or something like this. He was at one point. And then you have BOROS. Like you can just take BOROS, go kill, like he did in the I don't know, someday I think he said in the interview, just go kill Nafani or whatever he said. And then yeah, if MBK has 3 guys like this, who he can say like, okay, plan A is gonna be long BOROS go kill, plan B longs go kill, and then plan C body go
It's
kill.
MHL clutch is basically like the
Yeah.
then body and MHL clutch.
Exactly, like it's cool work.
There was also a little bit of hype around MHL like a while ago, right? Like maybe a year and a bit ago, and then
I mean, he's been touted as a big prospect for a while. I think it's a bit of a. I wonder if it's a bit of a tell that he hasn't made it to something a little bit more interesting with the reputation that he's had. So I don't know if like there's something behind the scenes that I'm not aware of, that people don't like how he plays. Like if he's a bit of a baiter, I've heard like that from some angles. But I mean, we know that a lot of operas are like that these days, you know. So I'm not sure that that's such a big problem.
yeah, I'm just looking here. So obviously Ago into Mouse NXT, and then from Mouse NXT into Endpoint. So I guess Mouse
even like
kind of
even way during Ego, like he was like people were saying, okay, he should be on like a top 20 team at least.
Yeah, but he was there with Fico, and I think also people said that Fico was kind of underrated in the lineup. I think he took a break as well before Mouse NXT.
True.
So NXT, so like from Algo, he was like break for school and shit.
I remember
and
this.
Kind of had to do the whole grind back.
He was
this
back
is definitely
in
the
Algo
time.
Yeah,
this is the time for him to show like what he's made of. Right now, he's going to be on the. This team needs to be in like the top 30 consistently, top 20-ish, right? Competing, playing some lands, and it's his chance to prove that he is good. But because if not, as you said, there is a shit ton of operas out there that are pretty good. Like someone like Forsey, completely like under the radar right now. He's been like a free agent for 6 months because you have like a Zorti, you have Dexter now potentially like wonderful. You know, like that's the rumor that Art Frost is coming in.
Big
so
Rink.
there's
What about Big Rink?
Wrinkle. Yeah, I heard that they are having offers as well, like a couple of the bait guys, but they also have pretty big buyouts, so people aren't really crazy to, you know, risk it
throw the money at
players
that.
like this.
Yeah, it's interesting because I heard about Wrinkle like even last year or something, and I heard number like that's like would be crazy at the time, but that probably would have decreased by now. But just generally, I feel like that's probably something that's going to happen at least now, unless he re-signed recently and like his contract just became even more unreasonable. But that could happen.
So there's still a lot of like free agent players floating around. There's still a couple of orgs looking for players.
The problem is there's like a lot of these free agents, you know, they cost money, and that's as I said, like not a lot of not a lot. Forsey is not, Sarasot is not, Wonderful is not, Zorti is not, who was the last one? Wrinkle is not. None of these are free agents, man. That's the problem. Like they
Dexter's
cost.
not.
Dexter's not, yeah. All of these operas, you know, there's a lot of options, but you do have to spend for them.
The buyouts are huge as well. I've heard like in it's quite large in Brazil. I heard like in North America on some players it's pretty big as well. Yeah, and that it just stops all these moves that we want to see happen from happening, which makes sense. It's business. You sign a contract, right? There's people are. Look, I'm sure that there's some kind of solution for it, but I'm not here to solve that problem tonight.
I do, you know, but there could be a problem. Like I doubt that Bait are getting paid like any sort of decent money, you know, but like are getting locked behind some crazy contracts. So that's the part that should be sorted out, you know.
Sure.
Because like if you're getting paid whatever, I can throw out even 2,000 euros, which I would be almost surprised if they were that high. In Bait, I could be wrong. I just put a number out of my ass, but it is a Ukrainian organization, you know, with basically no like top tier exposure, you know. So I doubt that they're getting paid anything. But like I heard a long time ago something like 100,000 buyout, you know. So like it's just not reasonable, not really comparable to their real salaries.
Like money grows on trees. All right. Let me ask you a question here. Which rumored change seems the most like surprising to you in a good or bad way? Because surely one of these you've gone, fuck, what, how, that, why is that happening?
I mean, I can say a good one. I can say that the Regali rumors for, I mean, is he signed? Is he officially signed for Regali?
Not official, but yeah, it is happening.
I mean, if they sign him, it's going to be a good thing, at least for Romanian, that we can get like more exposure, let's say like this. And then it'll be good. I think he's going to do decent there. At least decent. Like he can put some numbers.
He had a decent time standing in for them.
Yeah.
So
like he's that type of player who's like playing the same play style like James, but he can play also aggressive, and that's good. You want an opera like this, then yeah, I mean, I'm curious if he's gonna fit with the two more guys that they're gonna
What
bring
do
in.
we think about this line of thinking, that it's an interesting coincidence, quote unquote, that Nexa is coming back now that Dexter's out?
I don't think it's a coincidence. I heard that Dexter is hard to work with.
That's kind of what I've kind of been insinuating. Yes.
Yeah, but that's I think whether or not that maybe that might not be the only reason. Maybe there was more reasons. It just is strange that he's coming back to OG. I thought he would have been trying to go somewhere else, and then he's still stuck in the in-game leader role, which we know that he didn't want to do. So it's going to be hard for Nexa, I think, and it depends on how aggressive
Nexa,
OG.
I think this whole thing with Nexa and in-game leading, I think he would have been okay with in-game leading a team that makes sense for him. You know, like I think that's been kind of like that's been a bit of a misinformation out there. That yes, there have been positions where he didn't want to lead, but he didn't want to lead because he wasn't getting what he wanted, he couldn't do what he wanted to do, whether it be in G2 or even the stint with OG, probably, towards the end. So I would assume that that's the same thing happening over and over, for him. Of course, I mean, you can tell, kind of like, suck it up. If you want to have a place on a team, then that's your only value at this point. That's possible, but there's also that to consider.
Well, let me throw this one your way, Emma. What do you feel about the Flames to Vitality scenario? Whether it's true or not true, what do you think if it does happen?
Should be good.
Do you think it's smart to make that change? It didn't work for outsiders, right?
I think it's gonna be a 50-50. It's kind of a risk. Like, okay, Vitality are doing good. They are winning tournaments. They have like a good shape. They have the star players that they need. They have Spinks, they have Zyvo, and then they have dupreeh that he can take space. And yeah, that team is almost perfect, or already perfect, because they won the major. They won one more tournament. I can't remember the name.
Rio.
Rio, yeah, Rio. Then it could be a risk, but maybe if flameZ is going there, I think he's the same playstyle like dupreeh. Not gonna lie, he likes to go first. He doesn't care if he dies. He wants to take space. He wants to go for entries and all of this stuff. But it's a risk, in my opinion.
I mean, there's a lot of power in that team, but that could be a good thing and a bad thing depending on how much they are able to give everybody the space they need, right? Because we know flameZ to be this aggressive guy who kind of needs to have some space, who can't just be sitting behind somebody, like holding angles a lot. Like, he will just be moving around, and to control him is not going to be so easy, because it's not like dupreeh was like this massive entry. There was more Apex who was doing like the hard entry and things like that. While in OG, flameZ was like a lot of the time he would be the guy just running. So I'm curious about like how that's going to mix up if that happens, like, and just generally, like, obviously flameZ is used to being treated as kind of a star of the team, right? And that's just not going to happen in Vitality.
I feel there's definitely room for him to do some of his stuff within that team. Just bring up this tweet that Prof just linked in TeamSpeak, if you would, Lucas. I read this one out. It's from Nerds about these exact rumors we're discussing, and then I'll give it to you, Prof, and you can say what you want to say.
Thank you.
So Nerds said, I saw the rumors about dupreeh. For me, it doesn't make sense. Some people talking about the long run and his stats overall, and most people forget about personality, impact in-game and outside of the game. When I'm watching Vitality, he's key factor in the team. The way how he's going first and taking space, plus his personality from viewer POV has a huge impact. With all the big love I have for flameZ, I don't think it's a good idea. And if Vitality going to make this change, I guess I don't understand CS anymore. Just to add some context there, Nerds and flameZ are friends. They're both from Israel. So for him to have that to say, I don't think he would ever be saying anything to like besmirch flameZ or whatever. Like, he just thinks it's a bad move.
Yeah, it's may I talk now, chat?
Yes, you may, Prof.
Thank you.
You have the floor.
I think it's a crazy thing to read. Like, obviously, as you said, people usually don't say anything in a negative context about their friends on Twitter, because it's just easier to not say anything. So for him to like put out the opinion, it's very interesting, to say the least. Also, some people use this as almost argument as why this move is not happening. I saw this happening on like Twitter and on the forums and stuff. I'm like, bro, nah, I don't think, you know, this is Vitality is going to read this and I'll be like, oh no, wait, if Nerds said this, no, now we even don't want to sign this player.
But
anymore. Now we're going to go back.
I think the logic is a bit different. It's more like Nerds should know that it's happening or not happening, and so if he says this, that probably you know that indicates something. You know,
I don't know. I don't know about that because it seems. I think Vitality is a team that is comfortable making these like risky choices, and obviously they're bringing in fucking Magic and dupreeh was a risky choice, and like the Nivera and a lot of things that they did over time were like long-term thinking.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why it makes sense to me for them to want to do this essentially, because dupreeh is a great player, but flameZ is a lot younger and has time to grow. I don't think we saw the peak of flameZ yet, but we definitely saw the peak of dupreeh. We're never going to have the dupreeh of like 3 or 4 years ago. So that's why I understand why they would want it, but there is always the intangibles of a player and his personality, and definitely dupreeh is a guy that has a good personality. I think
That's
no
true.
one can. No, yes, there's like some of the like, oh, he's raging moments, but everyone on Astralis has like punched a few monitors over the years, and we don't think like Device is a toxic guy because of it, right? I think that is something that, even though flameZ is also, I would say, like kind of a personable character, dupreeh has like experience of winning fucking 5 majors and being at every fucking major ever. So there is something that they're losing that is an intangible, and how that will reflect on the rest of the team is a big question mark. But I think it's a good move for the long run, especially because the next major is in 9 months. So you have a
long lead time
to figure that shit out. And like, realistically, do you guys think dupreeh is gonna up and leave somewhere? I think he's just gonna be benched for the time being, and like if things are really shit, they can always bring him back.
I want him to rejoin Astralis and reunite with Device and Glaive, and that trio, the double Ds, are back together under Glaive's leadership.
I wouldn't mind that, but
with
the thing
Stare
is,
and Blaine.
yeah, that would be kind of sick.
That's a sick roster.
I just want to put focus on this as well. Like, in this roster period, is there a better free fucking agent than flameZ? I don't think so. That's why the #1 team in the world right now is going to use their big dick and swing it and be like, yeah, we want this guy for free. We're going to pay him a salary, but like, what's the fucking worst that can happen?
That's true.
They can sell him.
And they can stack the deck as far as the contract's concerned and the way it works for them and the expectations and everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that depends on how much interest that otherwise is there, because we know that, I mean, flameZ is, from everything that I've heard, flameZ is the most, there's the most interest around flameZ out of anybody. Like, there's no way there's anybody else that has this amount of interest around him, because he's like an up and coming star who's free, who just became free in the worst possible moment for everybody, basically, like in the best possible moment rather, for everybody, you know. So like, I've heard like pretty much like fucking 10, 15 different names probably that at least asked, you know, like, but obviously most of these will not have any sort of meaning, you know, because it's always going to come down to like Vitality, Liquid, Navi are the 3 biggest ones that I'm sure are like the biggest considerations, especially with this like Navi going international. Like, those 3 teams are in the fight, or were in the fight at some point. I think Liquid's already out of the question now, but I'm not 100% sure that the Vitality thing has actually been locked down 100%.
So there's still a chance for change.
There could be. This is actually one of the moves that are like the hardest to get. There's like, it's just really been confusing. I've heard so much conflicting stuff about flameZ and like what's not done, what is done. siuhy didn't help the situation where he baited people into thinking he's decided, when I'm relatively sure that was not the case, because otherwise we would have already now heard 100% that something's locked down. I know there's the Vitality report, but even that says it's not like 100%, just close to happening. So all of these things, you know, like, I don't think he would have ever considered anybody else.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess there's only one last region that we need to discuss quickly, and then we can see if there's any more viewer questions and probably pack this one up. The last is to do with like the Russian side of things. Because if Electronic and Perfecto do leave NAVI, does that like not open the door to like crazy rosters? Like
the Cloud9 thing?
Yeah, that doesn't have to happen quickly, right? Because they're not a partner team of Blast or ESL.
No.
But we're all Electronic and Perfecto to Cloud9 for
Buster and Nafany.
Now, Buster and Nafany, whatever the fuck you want. Like, any 2 players there, that's fucking
That's awesome
insane.
team. Plus, well, flameZ in the chat. You've also got like options like what the fuck's going on with Spirit. We know they're bringing the academy guys. You've also got VP, like who still have that same roster. There's a lot going on. Like Mantu, is it Mantu to Big? Is that where Mantu signed?
I didn't hear anything.
Mantu signed something. We got any other juicy stuff, or was that everyone? I think we covered everyone.
We have VoxPop for. I asked people for the.
Oh shit! Sorry, I forgot about
throw
that.
in at
Yeah,
the
we'll
end
do that
and
now.
pause it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, let's check this out.
What was the question? The question was
Worst answers only.
Oh shit! What's the worst roster this summer? Worst answers only. Me on Pimp's team in the Goat League. That was pretty good. That wasn't bad.
I think we're in a couple.
What do we got here? What are the people saying?
Let's see what the people are saying. I like this one.
Okay, read it to me.
Liquid Rainwalker. The dude played 3 real lands in his life, and it's coming to replace EliGE. It's from I Can't Read. It's fun, happiness, or something. I thought it was funny, kind of cheeky.
Okay.
Here, yes.
All right. A bit cheeky. All right,
let's go next.
That's a funny one.
Honestly,
it could be worse.
Simple rifle for Virtus Pro, except the org part. Like Virtus Pro would be pretty sick with simple as a rifler. Imagine how fucking.
You think he would play that slow though?
I think he'd get away with a few, more aggressive moves.
I think if you're simple, you will make the team play less slow.
You think Simple is going to come in and make Jame play different?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, do you not think that Simple will just make anybody his bitch? I don't know what you're talking about.
The one and only James Bardolph sent this in, by the way.
Oh, that's right. I did see this tweet. Okay, yeah. What's the final one? There's more. Targets replace EliGE. What?
And then the complimentary minus that plus Stanislaw.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. As long as that cycle continues. Man.
Where does FNS fit into all
He's
this?
still playing the Valorant. It's all going well for him.
And let's throw back.
Snappy. Lol. Yeah, okay. Some people got some good memories. That's great. All right. Is that more? Lucas show the
picture. Let's go. I hate this.
That looks so bad, by the way. That looks so off.
Yeah, but it's a good Photoshop, but it looks so bad.
That's my point. Yeah, it's just like
it'll be all right, guys.
That looks so off.
It's going to be fine. I'd like to see Electronic in EG with Jax, EliGE, automatic.
Like, I don't know if anybody else has this kind of feeling, but like now that EG are actually willing to spend and like to go outside of NA, which is like something that probably most people would have wanted them to do in the first place rather than like keep going with this shit.
Yeah,
is the fact that like they wasted 2 years of everybody's time to now try to be good. Like
they only wasted 2 years of their own time.
Well, but like we also wasted.
We also had to watch them in Pro League.
We literally had to watch them place dead last at like fucking 15 out of 17 events that they played in, just because they're a partner team in both.
Someone has to lose, no?
Yeah, but Emma, why didn't you just buy your team?
It always have to be one team?
I mean,
they should have just bought your team. Then that would have been fine. Would have all worked out, right? You would have been an EG. Could have. Anyway, they're North American. We got any other?
Nobody else is pissed off about this, by the way. That they've just wasted everybody's time to suddenly try to.
I gave up on them almost immediately. I went, whatever. Right. If the experiment works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Who cares? We don't need to talk about them.
They were a partner team who just wasted a slot in most tournaments they played in, man.
Yeah, they were keeping the heating on, mate. They were just burning money throughout the last couple of years, just keeping it warm.
I'm not talking about them, what it meant for them. I'm talking about us, man. We could have had like a GamerLegion playing at whatever it is, like Pro League more.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, people in chat, if you got any questions for Emir right now, get him in here. He's had a long day. He's had to lose a final, and now he's had to sit here and listen to 3 clowns talk. So if there's any questions, get him in thick, hot, and fast before we get out of here. Someone has been very persistent. King Carol 1 has been spamming your name with love hearts the entire time.
I think he's one of my viewers. I'm pretty sure.
That's good. It's good to get somebody wants a hair routine. Do you do anything special to your hair?
Nope, nothing special.
You're washing it every day? What do you talk once every 3 days?
Once 2 days, yeah.
Okay, all right, nice. He's not overwashing the hair right there. People
are asking about the Crims tweet, but like I don't think that's.
I think it's bait.
I think it's bait, just like the Twist tweet.
Some other stuff that's already been asked.
Jerry. Oh, Jerry. Someone didn't talk about, like, he could also, wasn't he also in EG rumors? That was,
He may have been.
Yeah, I think that was also one of the things, but who the fuck knows?
We didn't ask about the siuhy stuff, but not a lot we can really go with that anyway. We didn't mention, but you know, we can't really talk about that.
The question is, which IGL is most similar to siuhy, for example, if there was someone.
Oh, as a replacement.
Yeah.
I guess it's hard, like, for him to be able to speak on that, isn't it?
I don't think anyone can really, like, he's
well, how
very
can you
specific
compare to siuhy?
Very specific with the roles that he plays as well.
Yeah.
He takes a lot of space individually and is pretty strong. But I don't know who else plays like that. Like, not electronic. Fucking, it's not degster for sure. That's
no, it is going to be a bit interesting. For
he's in Kagan playing the same thing, like taking spaces T side and then.
But not on city side though.
On city side, yeah, he's playing like more anchors ish. But he used to play like this type of position, right? No, backing in base.
Again, I guess it depends on the map and the position, but yeah, I like in terms of the output though. It's something I think with I think with siuhy is the difference in terms of the output you're getting, and obviously he's younger, so you're hoping to get a bit more mechanically and individually out of him in that regard. Like, but his macro is obviously good, and you talking about what he brought to the team and stuff a little bit earlier too. So just one for the future as far as in-game leaders go, right? We don't have a lot of them. We don't have a lot of them to really take a look at here. Now I'm just going to quickly glance and have a look at one last little thing. People were just talking about, you've already spoken about most of this stuff. Most of this stuff's been said. All right, Emma, is there anything you want to say?
It was a great tournament with you.
Bad man.
No, I don't have anything else.
How is Chad as an in-game leader?
Pretty good, not gonna lie. Maybe a bit rusty because didn't play for a while, but on this side he saved us, at least on the reverse map, for sure.
The reverse map. Oh yeah, the one ancient.
Yeah, in the group stage, yeah.
I'm throwing fucking window smokes on reversed ancient. Yeah. Yeah, I've fucking bought individually. It's not good enough. It's really just not good enough. There's no excuse for it. It's not as bad. Yeah.
Do you want to play more though?
I do. I do want to play more. But it's like
maps.
No, fuck that shit. and fuck Dust 2 and fuck Train. That's all I'm gonna say.
I agree with that. I hate Dust 2.
Yeah.
Nobody likes Dust 2 as it is now.
I mean, I didn't play for 2 years, so
yeah, exactly.
That was my first time in 2 years playing Dust 2.
Well, I played it in CS2 matchmaking and it was enough, man. Like I played it like 5 times and I was like, fuck that. It's just so bad to play, especially in a pug where like you don't know how to deal with the mid pushes.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have to do any sponsors? I guess you don't have to. You don't even have the jersey on, mate. You're all good in the hood. Well, thank you for joining us this evening. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for
get your
having me.
insights. And hopefully we get to see much more of you in the future because I guess I can speak for everybody when I say this. They can say otherwise, but getting to see you just fucking dumpster people at the major was, I think, Striker, you put it a great way. It was like you're in the Matrix. So it's great to see you have a breakout event like that, be in the running for, you know, MVP of a fucking major. It's amazing. So great to have you in our scene. You're a lovely lad. Thank you for your time. Thank you everybody for tuning in. And we'll be back not next week, right? Because
I mean, I'm going to be out, but I'm not sure if you guys will be able to do something.
We'll work something out. Maybe we have a show next week. Maybe we don't. Either way, we will hear from us soon. It's another episode of HLTV Confirmed. Quick jump to the sponsors, BitSkins, SteelSeries, and 22Bet. Gamble responsibly. Good night.
Finally, I found what I was looking for. Now that my search is over, it's gonna be a tough choice. But fortunately, no need to choose. When you can just have them all. Buy and sell skins on BitSkins.com.
Best esports odds. VIP program and a variety of bonuses. Fast and easy withdrawals. Bet on every possible CSGO match and tournament, as well as any other esports game. Only on 22Bet.
It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. It's a good vibe, train, train, train.